last time. But waiting at the break is Kansas head coach Glenn Mason, who was to say aloha to his Jayhawks, but decided at the last minute not to walk away from Lawrence. And the surf is definitely up here in Honolulu, Hawaii, far from the cold and the wind and the snow. A gorgeous day for college football. And ABC Sports College Football is proud to present the 1995 Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl, featuring the UCLA Bruins from the Pac-10 and the Kansas Jayhawks out of the Big 8 Conference. And hello, everyone. I'm Terry Gannon, along with Tim Brandt, my partner, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Hope you're having a happy holiday. Boy, I'll tell you what, Tim, it has been an odd week all week long in terms of the atmosphere. Glenn Mason accepted the head coaching job at Georgia earlier in the week. Just moments ago, he told his team, no, he's staying in Lawrence to coach the Jayhawks. You have Terry Donahue, who's leaving after 20 years as the head coach at UCLA to become a broadcaster. What kind of effect does this have on the program, on the players today?
Merry Christmas to you and to all of yours. It has been wild and woolly. I will say this, for Terry Donahue, that obviously will be a motivating factor for UCLA. For the Glenn Mason situation, it's a shock. I'm sure the folks in Athens are still trying to figure it out. They're probably hearing it right now for the very first time. Now Georgia in limbo without a coach, and that will be critical as far as recruiting is concerned for those down in Bulldog territory. I'm sure the Kansas kids now will be excited that their coach is going to stay. I think for the offensive and defensive coordinator, Mike Hankwitz and Golden Rule, these are two guys that thought maybe they had an opportunity now to become a head coach at Kansas. So they must have mixed emotions here. They're losing out on an opportunity, but they get their coach back. I think the Kansas kids will be excited. And for the recruits, I know there's 11 guys that they were ready to sign. I'm sure now this will be a boost for them, and they'll come to Kansas.
You have to wonder, too, the question does come up. Dr. Bob Frederick, the AD at Kansas, stayed behind in Lawrence to search for a new coach. Does Glenn Mason still remain the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks?
I think he does, obviously, and this has to be a commitment that he has already received, or he would not have made this announcement that he was going to stay at Kansas. I will say this, though. We've been with Glenn Mason all week here in Oahu, and he talked about moving on. He's been on radio programs. The folks from Athens, Georgia, the Atlanta Constitution, folks all throughout the Southeast Conference have been here in Hawaii, following this story, looking forward to him joining the SEC, and now all of a sudden he turns. How will that affect his future? You have to look at him if you're going to hire him down the road and say, wait a minute, he backed out of a coaching job once. I like Glenn Mason. He's done a marvelous job at Kansas, but this is going to play havoc, I think, in his future.
Yeah, the last time Kansas had 9 wins in the season, 1968, so it's been a long time coming. He's taken them to 2 bowl games in the last 4 years, and at least right now, it looks like he is staying as the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks. On the field, though, Timmy, the players, the guys who will actually play the game today.
This will be a fun game. You look at UCLA, you've got a lot of name players here, big stars, guys that are going to play at the next level. For instance, you've got the guy that won the Outland Trophy. You're looking at Jonathan Ogden, I think a first-rounder yet to come, maybe one of the top 5. That's Jim Surfeld, and here comes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 11 games over 100, over 2,000 yards for his career. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is special. On the other side, 2 outstanding running backs. You've got L.T. Levine, June Henley for Kansas. This is like a hammer and chisel. They keep banging at you. And then the quarterback, Mark Williams, he's got great mobility, 3rd leading rusher. He has escapability, could cause some problems for UCLA. This is going to be a fun game. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Not a bad place to hold it either here, huh? Honolulu, Hawaii for the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl. Kansas taking on the UCLA Bruins the last go-around for Terry Donahue as the head coach of UCLA. Stay with us.
Okay, now don't get Grandma too excited.
That's right. The poor dear is probably a bit weak.
She has been running on the same Duracell battery since the Ice Age.
Wow. Those Duracell batteries sure do last.
The Copper Top. No battery is stronger, longer. Where were you when your Sudafed quit?
Math finals. I could hardly breathe.
Efidac 24 won't quit. Where were you when your Sudafed quit?
Route 9, I totally clogged up.
Efidac 24 won't quit, while Sudafed dissolves immediately. One Efidac Steady Tab keeps releasing just the right amount of medicine at the right time for 24-hour congestion relief. So it just won't quit.
Mine didn't quit. Mine is Efidac 24.
The cold pill that just won't quit.
Well, it's been a tremendous week out here in Honolulu, and today's not bad either. 81 degrees here, 60 degrees and cloudy in L.A. And Lawrence, Kansas, very warm, 29 degrees and cloudy. Welcome once again, everyone. Terry Gannon along with Tim Brandt. Merry Christmas from Honolulu and Aloha Stadium. And we send it down to the third member of our crew, the former Oklahoma quarterback, Dean Blevins, who has a special guest. Dean?
Thank you, Terry. Merry Christmas to you and all our viewers out there. You know, we told you a half hour ago that Glenn Mason is staying at Kansas. Terry Donahue, you're not staying at UCLA. How are your emotions right now?
Well, this is a hard day for me. UCLA's been my life for 25 years, and it's a tough thing to do, but I've made my decision, and I've been the luckiest guy in the whole world, Dean. I've coached at one of the great schools, had a great president, and it's been a wonderful thing for me. And my heart's heavy. I'm sad, but I got one more game to go here, so let's see if we can get a win.
Terry, briefly, when you walked onto the field with your team for the last time before a game, I noticed you looked around, looked in the stands, and waved and gave thumbs up. I assume that was the wife and 3 daughters.
Well, my family's up there, and they're struggling, and I just want to tell them everything's okay. And I want to say hello to my family back home, Laguna Beach and up in Washington. Hi, guys. Merry Christmas.
Class act. Good luck today.
Thanks, Dean.
And we'll be talking later with Terry's wife and the kids. Back to you guys.
All right, Dean, thank you. And Terry Donahue, 20 years as the head coach, winningest coach in UCLA history, and he has done it with class. And I think that may be the big guy dropping in for the game this afternoon.
This guy's not that big, but I tell you, he's dropping in. That's one of the L's. Oh!
Well, he dropped all right at midfield.
He hit the target. I'm not sure he hit it with what he wanted to, though.
Well, the game ball has to be coming in at some point here, and we've got a number of elves in parachutes dropping in on Aloha Stadium. But just to make the point about Terry Donahue, 20 years, it has to be an emotional day today, Tim.
No question about that. I can tell him this. As he comes into the broadcast booth and gets into our business, he'll be working with Jim Nance, one of my former partners. He's in good hands, and I'm sure, you know, he's a quality guy, Terry Donahue. He'll do a fine job.
Well, another L about the 29-yard line. So about 21 yards off. That's it. Well, it's been a gorgeous week here in Honolulu. About 85 degrees and sunny every single day.
They call this paradise. There's no question about it. That is not an over-exaggeration. It is simply magnificent.
Well, it's been a full weekend. We're helping kick off an exciting week of bowl games here on ABC. But, of course, the NFL winding down and an exciting weekend all weekend long. And you'll get Saturday on ABC Sports, NFL Wild Card Playoff doubleheader. The matchups are set now. The Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. And then it's the Lions taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia. Coverage begins at noon Eastern Saturday here on ABC Sports.
And after all the elves have arrived, Santa finally makes his appearance to a standing ovation from the crowd that has arrived.
Is that a busy night? Now a busy day. Taking a little college football here in Hawaii today, though.
I think the players are saying, hey, Santa, we know you've had a busy night. Give us the ball. We want to play.
Been up in the air a while. And Glenn Mason, we talked about the emotion of Terry Donahue. Boy, I can't even fathom the emotion and what's going inside the head of Glenn Mason right now. All week long, you know, every day with a press conference talking about taking the head job at Georgia and what that means to his players and his staff. And now he decides to stay.
You know, last month I was out in Kansas, had a chance to visit with him and his community and his family, everybody entrenched in the community. He obviously didn't want to leave.
And Ed Bruss, the general manager of Jeep Eagle, at midfield for the coin toss. The 14th Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl here at Aloha Stadium. And Kansas will receive. UCLA won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so the Jayhawks will start with the ball first. And you look at the bowl records, Kansas 2-5. Won the Blue Bonnet Bowl in 61 and the Aloha Bowl here in 92. In fact, both of these schools have won this, trying to become the first team to win it twice.
Terry Donahue has participated in every bowl win UCLA has ever had, all 10 of them, either as a player, an assistant, or a head coach.
And for UCLA, this is how they arrived here in the Chief Eagle Aloha Bowl. 7-4 overall, and you look at the struggles early on in the Pac-10. They lost to Oregon, they lost at Washington State, and then went on a winning streak. The 2 losses late in the year, but a huge win over USC. 5 years in a row they've beaten the Trojans.
In those early losses, UCLA had too many turnovers, 14 fumbles, 9 interceptions for the year, but they really struggled early on.
And Kansas had injuries early, as a matter of fact, but they won 7 in a row to open up. And then the 2 losses, Kansas State and Nebraska, and they didn't just lose those games, but look at the scores, 41-3 and 41-7.
Well, that Nebraska game is a little bit misleading. They actually outplayed Nebraska in the first half of that game, but made a couple of key mistakes, put the ball on the ground, gave the ball over to easy touchdowns to Nebraska. It cost them the game.
And Ashunde Smith back deep for the Jayhawks alongside Isaac Bird, and Greg Andrzik from Honolulu will handle the kicking duties for UCLA, and he's been kicking a lot of field goals as of late for Bjorn Merton, who is the regular field goal kicker. May see him in action kicking field goals as well today. Slipped on the opening kick, and it's Smith inside his 5. Looking for a seam and a good return out to the 27-yard line, and that's where the Jayhawks will start their first series of downs. Ted Wokey, defensive back, made the stop for UCLA. And Mark Williams, a very heady quarterback, a guy who's completed 70% of his passes in their Big 8 wins this year.
He's also the 3rd leading rusher on this team. We talked about his mobility and escapability, and that's going to be a factor today.
L.T. Levine leading the way in the backfield for Kansas, and 2 backs who've rushed for over 2,000 yards in their careers, and 2 wide receivers who have caught more than 40 passes this year. First time that's happened in Kansas history. So first down, and here's the reverse. Smith looking for room. Not going to find much. He may have lost the yard. Got back to the 26, maybe the 27. Philip Ward, the defensive end, made the stop. And the offensive line, Chris Banks, the all-Big 8 player, played the Aloha Bowl in 1992. Didn't expect to play. He was just there to get some sun, he said. All of a sudden, there's an injury. He had to go in the game.
Now, this group is not that big. Banks is very consistent. He's graded out higher than any lineman that Glenn Mason's ever had. And if you look at the defensive line and backers, these guys are quick. They've changed the scheme a little bit to get more quickness in there, and they've been able to do that.
2nd and 11, play action. Williams with time. Out to his tight end. That's Jim Moore. Across the 35, up to the 37-yard line, and close to a Kansas first down. Tommy Bennett made the stop. We check out the defensive backfield for the Bruins. Sean Williams, the 2nd leading tackler, had a knee injury against the Trojans in the last game of the year, but they say he's 100%.
This defense has forced 25 turnovers. He's one of the reasons, coming off a knee injury. I think, you know, you get in a game like this, it's a reward. All the players want to enjoy it, but you have to watch the basics. Now, Kansas offensively, they want to run Henley and Levine and just bang this thing out and open things up for Williams. And defensively, they're going to overload on the run like they did against Kansas. They're going to come up, or against Nebraska, they're going to come up and they're going to jam that line, try to stop the run of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
3rd and 1 for the Jayhawks, just short of the 37. This is what Williams does well, rolling and gaining a first down out to the 39-yard line. And, Tim, we talked to the UCLA defensive coaches, and they said they are very worried about his mobility.
Yeah, they've got to contain. There's no question about it. Flood control today is going to be paramount. That means the outside guys have to come across the line of scrimmage, force him to stay inside that pocket, or to run the ball tackle to tackle.
So a first down for the Jayhawks, and they're at the 40-yard line, just short of that. Henley and Levine in the backfield. Kansas will go with the one-back set often, but here's June Henley trying the left side, bouncing, and stood up after a gain of maybe 2. Sean Williams, the strong safety, made the stop first.
He's fun to watch. Sean Williams, you talk about him being a safety, and yet he's the 2nd leading tackler because he commits and reads so early. Now, occasionally that'll cause him some problems. He may read too fast. He'll come up and commit, take the bite, boom, they run past him. But he's very, very effective, all-conference type guy.
Well, you saw the misdirection on the first play from scrimmage from Kansas. The reverse trying to get them going against the grain.
Yeah, that play took a little bit too long to develop, though.
2nd and 8 at the 42. A lot of time for Williams and room. And wide open is his tight end, Hosea Friday, at the 40-yard line of UCLA. No one near him.
got to tell you something. That's only his 13th reception of the year, but Glenn saw something, and again, there's Williams. Now watch how Williams bides his time. All right, he drops back. We said you got to keep him tackle to tackle. Look at him. He bounces outside. Now there's nobody out there. He's got plenty of time to throw and just drops it over to Friday. Friday is not one of the key receivers. They weren't watching him closely. Again, I tell you, it's only his 13th reception of the year, but a big play by Williams.
Gain of 18 on the play. They've used him a lot lately, though. He's had 6 catches in the last 2 games of the year. Here comes Levine. Nowhere to go. Wrapped up in the backfield. He's going to lose a couple. And there's that name again. Sean Williams got there first. We're calling him often early and probably well throughout the day.
Juan McGee with a nice play there. Has a lot of pressure on Williams. But again, Bob Field, the defensive coordinator for UCLA, said, hey, I expect Kansas to come out and just pound the ball, pound the ball. They'll show that I-twins formation, then run it. So they're loading up there. So I think the way to go for Williams here is to pass like he did to Friday. And, of course, second and long, he's in a passing situation or a draw situation.
A loss of 6 on the play. Williams, a lot of time again. Open is Smith at the 34. And loses yardage, actually, as he tries to get away. He's back just inside the 35-yard line. Williams on the coverage and the tackle that time, a gain of 11.
Talk about Mark Williams. You're talking about his decision-making ability over the years. Been very, very good. Again, they roll him this time to avoid the pressure. They take him to the outside. Now look at the time he has. He reads 3 different receivers, goes through the progression, finds the open receiver outside, which is Smith, and just gets it to him and hits him right in the chest with it. Nicely done.
Told you that he completed 70% of his passes in Big 8 wins this year. And completed over 61% of his passes overall. That's a top mark in Kansas history. The 9th play of the drive for the Jayhawks. Over the middle, Levine bounces outside, has a first down and more. To the 17, he is a big, strong running back, and they like to throw the ball to their backs a lot.
Boy, again, Williams buys some time. Now watch this, out of the shotgun. Go ahead and snap it. Now Williams looking again. He's looking to the right. All right, now he's going to go to his safety valve. Stop it right there, and you can see already he's going out here. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for the open area to come out, find it, throw it underneath, under the linebackers. Then look at this, little shake and bake move on the linebacker, Donnie Edwards, who missed some time with an injury. He's not as sharp as probably he was last year. And then they just bang their way down for the big yardage.
They list him at 210. He was by the pool the other day. I tell you what, he's a good 220, 225. Straight ahead. And a gain of a couple of yards for L.T. Levine. The Jayhawks are just outside the 15-yard line. Testing that defense of UCLA early on.
For Mark Williams, what a great story he is. Junior college transfer from Diablo Valley. Look at what he's done when he gets down deep. They call this the red zone. When they get inside the 20, he likes to call it the green zone, the money area, the cash. This is when you're going for the real deal.
Eric Galbraith now in for Levine. The quick throw out to Smith at the 10-yard line, and he catches it on his knees.
You know, again, Williams throws a dart. This is a guy right out of high school. He spent 1 year working in a grocery store, just sacking groceries. He was recovering from an arm injury. Actually had some surgery. They didn't think he'd be able to play college ball, so he sat out, worked in the grocery store, worked his way back through junior college, came in. Now he's playing great.
And he was referred to the Kansas staff by the UCLA coaches. They want to take that back at this point.
He actually wanted to go to UCLA, and they watched him as he grew up.
3rd and 3 at the 9. Play action. To Moore. To the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas. They get on the board first.
How methodical was that? Glenn Mason says, I'm staying. They said, all right, coach, we're ready to play. Let's go out and get one for you. They use the tight ends at Kansas, the play-action pass guys. Here they drag him across the middle. Here's Jimmy Moore. Now, this is his 4th touchdown of the year. This guy's 250 pounds. He uses that just to bull his way in. Touchdown, Kansas.
Jeff McCord on for the extra point, splits the uprights. And Kansas with a long drive early on. That started at their own 27-yard line. Mark Williams 6 for 6 for 73 yards on the opening drive. And, yeah, there's a little bit of emotion here.
testing the new auto stick system on the Eagle Vision is Test Pilot Captain Orlowski. You comfortable, sir?
I love the smell of a new car in the morning.
I'll take that as a yes.
Gauging auto stick. No clutch, easy to shift.
No bulky oxygen mask?
Amazing control, even without the wings.
You don't get out of the F-16 much, do you, Flyboy? And that's okay.
Test it yourself. Make the call. 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE.
You will be called private, specialist, or sergeant. Beneath the ribbons on your chest will be the souls of those who came before. You will be an individual, but triumph as a team. You will know strength, courage, and compassion. You will win what must be won, achieve what must be done. You will be a soldier.
United Artists invites you to leap into the new year with a Bond.
James Bond. No more foreplay. Bond. Only Bond. Precisely.
GoldenEye, rated PG-13, now playing.
The world's best have battled all year in a unique match play event. Now it's the final match in the Anderson Consulting World Championship of Golf. Live Sunday on ABC.
On the first day of Christmas, my man gave to me a win at the Aloha Bowl.
I'll tell you what, it's a good thing they can block and tackle. They wouldn't make a living singing.
Don't quit the day job, fellas. The guys from Kansas, and we'll have the 12 days of Christmas throughout the afternoon.
Awfully impressive drive by Kansas to start this thing up. UCLA loaded up against the run. We said, hey, they're going to have to pass to beat it. Williams did, 6 for 6 in the touchdown.
Eric Scott, Jim McElroy back deep for the Bruins, and it's McElroy 3 yards deep. They'll go to one knee. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. You know, one of the oddest sights of being over here at Christmas is seeing about 60 football players come over the hill on mopeds, which I saw the other day. It's one of the favorite pastimes when the clubs come over here. Cade McNown, the freshman, first freshman to start a conference opener for UCLA. And Tim, this guy's gotten better all year long. He's really progressed.
He reminds me of Mark Brunell, the former Washington quarterback. He's very talented.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leading the way for the backs and receivers. The only back in UCLA history to gain over 1,200 yards in 2 different years.
The nation's number 4 rusher.
Number 1 rusher in the Pac-10. Straight ahead and stops right at the line of scrimmage. Dick Holt made the stop, the outside linebacker out of Wichita. And the men who will lead up front, can't get any better than that. Jonathan Ogden, the Outland Trophy winner.
6'8", 315 pounds. He'll be one of the first 5 players taken in the draft, All-American. Watched him in high school. I've watched him through college. He's a load.
Defensive front for Kansas. Keith Rogers leads them in sacks with 7, but that's an undersized defensive line, and it's a big offensive line for UCLA. Pass complete out to the 24-yard line. That's Brad Melsby, the freshman out of Los Alamitos. Defensive backfield for Kansas. Dorian Brew, all Big 8 player. Broke up 18 passes this year. That's a Kansas record.
They also had 4 interceptions. This is a good group. They're very quick as a unit. They read and react. They're very confident. Now, I think UCLA offensively, they've got to stay out of long situations. Now, already they're in a 3rd and long. They didn't want to do that. Defensively, obviously, we said earlier, they've got to contain Williams and did not do a good job of that in the first series.
Cheyenne Caldwell in the backfield as well. Here's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Tripped up at the 30, but falls ahead. Should have a UCLA first down. Jason Thorne, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Well, a long drive by the Kansas Jayhawks after the opening kick, and they did it in the air, Tim.
UCLA loaded up for the run, so they faked the run, play action, dragged the tight end. Here comes Friday, 6'2", 240 pounds. Bingo. He beats Lawrence. Watch him take Lawrence into the end zone with him. 250 pounds, just bulls him in, and KU leading this ball game.
Jim Moore with a touchdown, 73 yards in the air. -1 yard rushing. And there's some room for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A first down and out to the 45-yard line. Well, you look at the quick burst of Abdul-Jabbar, a gain of 14. And leading the way, of course, Jonathan Ogden, the Outland Trophy winner.
Watch number 79. This guy's 315 pounds. He's 6'8", but he runs a 4.840. Look at him get around the corner. Now looking for a blue jersey. Get out of the way. Here comes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Picks up the first down. Last time we saw Abdul-Jabbar, he ran for 260-some yards against Stanford. Man, I'd follow Ogden anywhere. Washington, D.C. product out of St. Albans.
And the last drive of the game in that Stanford contest, a 98-yard drive to win the game, to secure the victory. And it was just Abdul-Jabbar right, left, and Ogden led the way the whole drive.
Let me tell you something, folks, about that guy on your screen, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He is exciting, he's durable, he's talented, he's quick, he is an outstanding player.
Is that all?
And he averages 26 yards a carry, so he doesn't get tired.
You know, he had the bad ankle, and actually injured it against Washington. He missed the game against USC.
I got so excited for 26 yards a carry. He's 26 carries a game. And he's going to be a problem for Glenn Mason today.
And the ankle does not look bad at all here on their first drive. Here he goes again, trying the left side, and stops maybe before he got to the line of scrimmage. UCLA may have lost a yard. Made the stop, and we mentioned it earlier, but it really will be a factor today. The big offensive line of UCLA against the smaller defensive front of Kansas, and it's hot, it's humid, and we're playing on AstroTurf.
Yeah, but Terry, this defensive line is light, but it's very tall and strong and quick. They cause problems for quarterbacks. Already have for UCLA another second and long.
James Milner now in the backfield for Abdul-Jabbar, and that pass is batted down.
That's the height advantage right there. That's what I'm talking about. Houston is 6'4 and a half. He's got a tremendous arm span. So even though he's light, he's only 245 pounds, that height and that timing and that athletic ability causes problems for quarterbacks and bats down a lot of passes.
Houston, a former tight end, and his coaches love him. They say a little bit more weight work, and he's going to be an awfully good one.
Now watch this. The freshman is locked onto his receiver right from the get-go. Never looks off. Consequently, Houston knows where the ball's going. He just times it and bats it away with that big bear paw of his.
3rd and 11 for UCLA. McNown to throw. Incomplete. He overthrew the intended receiver, Brad Melsby, who was open for a moment. Jamie Harris, the right cornerback, on the coverage.
Well, let's look at the ball game this way. Kansas has had the ball once. UCLA's had the ball once. So far, it's all Jayhawks.
And I think sometimes emotion is overplayed as you look at Chris Saylor on the punt for UCLA, but you have to believe that in that locker room it was quite a scene before the game.
Glenn Mason announcing to his team, shocking his team and the entire sports world, and especially the folks down in Athens, saying, hey, I'm committed to that job verbally, but I'm not going. I'm staying here in Kansas.
Shunday Smith back at his own 13-yard line, awaiting the Saylor punt. And a high punt down at the 17-yard line. The fair catch by Smith. A punt of 38 yards, no return. Kansas starting their second drive when we return.
People keep asking me, how does it feel to be Steve Young? Frankly, it hurts. Give me my Advil. Nothing has shown me that works better on aching muscles or proven that it lasts longer. Advil's the one.
For sore muscles, more doctors recommend Advil than any other pain reliever.
Nasty game.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
The warmest aloha from the Sheraton hotels that call Waikiki Beach home. The Sheraton Waikiki, the Royal Hawaiian, the Sheraton Moana Surf Rider, the Sheraton Princess Kaiulani. Let Sheraton turn the world's most famous beach into your own tropical paradise. Come celebrate aloha with Sheraton. For reservations, call 1-800-STAY-ITT.
The Eagle Vision is the first sedan in the world with the auto stick system. Porsche offers their version in a coupe. This German engineer will compare.
Du kennst mich doch. Ich liebe Schwarz.
So what do you think, Goose?
Also, was denkst du denn, Goose?
Das ist sehr gut. Meine einfaches automatisch,
He likes the choice of automatic over the stick. Excellent handling without a clutch.
What do you think of Vision's price?
Hast du meine Gute? Es ist crude. No, we get the message. Thank you.
Test it yourself. Make the call. 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE.
Monday, as American troops move into Bosnia, what's Christmas like for the families they left behind?
Start your Christmas day with Good Morning America.
Here on ABC.
ABC Sports coverage of the 1995 Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl brought to you by Eagle Vision TSI, featuring the revolutionary auto stick system. Sheraton Hotels in Waikiki in celebration of Aloha. Burger King, where you can get your burgers worth. And the makers of Advil.
Looks like
Brandt was riding one of those yesterday.
That's the Brandt family right now. They said, I'm not coming over there while Dad works. I'm going out and ride the waves.
Well, the announcement by Glenn Mason that he's staying, one of his assistant coaches, coordinator Golden Pat Rule, of course, one of the men mentioned for that head coaching job with Mason leaving, and you wonder what kind of effect that has. Isaac Bird with a catch at the 35, and the ball is loose. We'll see if they blew the whistle. I believe they did.
Yeah, they ruled him down. It'll still be Kansas ball, and now Williams 7 for 7. Interesting that you bring up Golden Rule. I had a long talk with him on the beach the other day. And he wants to be a head coach very badly. He thought he was going to get the opportunity here. He certainly had an interview scheduled if Glenn Mason did go to Georgia, but now that's not going to happen. So you wonder about his reaction. Certainly happy that Glenn's going to stay. The staff will stay intact, and he knew how important recruiting was, especially with 11 guys that they wanted, that were ready to commit. But he loses an opportunity at the same time, so I'm sure there's mixed emotions.
First and 10, June Henley. Up to the 40 and up to maybe the 41 after that late surge. Henley, a junior out of Columbus, Ohio, and kind of the foster brother of Ohio State's Terry Glenn, who lived with Henley's family, gets his name June as in junior, and the number 5 all-time rusher in Kansas history.
Yeah, his real name is Charles. You know, the Ohio State's Terry Glenn, the nation's 10th leading receiver, moved in with the Henley family 8 years ago, just after Terry's mom was murdered, and Glenn and Henley are legally brothers.
Williams throws. Shunday Smith hit right at the 45-yard line. Made the catch near the first down, but Paul Guidry just smacked him to the ground. And they will move the chains. He got enough for the first.
Terry's still early in the ball game, but I can tell you this. I am surprised. Kansas is moving the ball with ease, very methodically. The game plan is solid. It's being executed. Glenn Mason has the team prepared. Obviously, they're motivated by what took place with Glenn saying he's going to stay, but Mark Williams has just been unbelievably sharp. 8 for 8, 95 yards, a touchdown, and no picks.
Can't get any better, and you know that UCLA expected Kansas to run the football early to establish that with Henley and with Levine, and they're throwing the football almost on every down. This time they run. Levine, stacked up at the line of scrimmage, may have gained a yard.
See, now throwing the football doesn't surprise me, because if you're a football guy, you look at what UCLA's doing. They're loading 7 guys up there, sometimes 8 to stop the run. If there are 8 guys in that box, obviously you want to pass. They're doing that, and they're doing it effectively. So they're making the right choices offensively.
And throwing to their backs out of the backfield as well. Well, tonight is Action Monday on ABC. Wrap up Christmas with a brand new episode of The Marshals, starring Jeff Fahey. And on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the final game of the regular season as Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys battle Arizona. And don't forget, all important because of Detroit's loss, 49ers lose yesterday. Home field advantage on the line tonight. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football.
Talk about a Christmas present for the Cowboys with that 49er loss. Boy, I mean, Barry Switzer was going to rest some of his players and get them healthy. Now, he's got to suit these guys up, and they're really banged up. He's got to play Troy. He's got to play Emmett. These guys are not healthy. They've got the long haul in front of them with the playoffs, but they've got to win that game.
Well, and even though it's Arizona, with those injuries, their defense is so banged up. You wonder how do you get it together. But there's one of the better motivators around as well. 3rd and 10 for Kansas on the 46. Williams under pressure this time and throws to his back. Henley out of the backfield to the 47 of UCLA, about 3 yards short of a first down. Sean Williams on the coverage and the stop. And UCLA holds on this second drive of the Jayhawks. Darren Simmons on for his first punt of the afternoon. Look at his average on the year. And back deep, Paul Guidry, second team All Pac-10 returner. Simmons punt, a low line drive kick. To the end zone it will go, and they'll bring it back out to the 20, a 47-yard punt. He wanted it to go about 45 yards and out of bounds. UCLA taking over, down 7.
Oh, isn't that cute? What? You guys are like the three bears. You're double Whopper, Whopper, Whopper Jr., Bing, Bang, Boom.
I'm hungry, so what?
Well, nothing just sort of struck me as funny.
So what are you saying? I'm like the mama bear?
A Whopper value meal for any size appetite, starting at $1.99 every day at Burger King. That's getting your burger's worth.
Hey, baby bear, you gonna finish those fries?
Yes. Ooh, somebody needs a nap.
What are you doing, tough guy? Gentlemen! Now, I know we have our differences, different jobs, different deodorants, different phone companies. Truth is, regardless of who we are, what we are, or what phone company we choose, every one of us can use 1-800-COLLECT to save money on collect calls.
1-800.
I use 1-800-COLLECT. I'm feeling a lot of love here.
1-800-COLLECT. Anyone can use it, everyone can save.
Hey, sports fans. Hitachi Ultravision destroys the myth that there's nothing like the real thing. So get real with Hitachi and let the games begin. Hello? Attention, theater buffs. With its ultra-clear, ultra-bright, ultra-sharp picture, Hitachi Ultravision asks the question, to be real or not to be? Bet you always thought Hamlet asked that. Ultravision Home Theater. TVs, VCRs, camcorders. Only from Hitachi.
On the second day of Christmas, my Santa gave to me 2 new coaches and a win at the Aloha Bowl.
See, surprise, though. They opened up the package, and there was only one new coach.
That's exactly right.
Terry Donahue, of course, moving out to UCLA. He's going to move into the broadcast booth, but just joining us, Glenn Mason says he's going to stay at Kansas. He is not going to take that job at Georgia.
Moments before kickoff. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of the left side and out to the 25-yard line. A gain of almost 5. You know, the long drive of Kansas to start the game, much of it in the air, but as they came off the field, you could see a few players take the helmet off immediately, and obviously it's much warmer than they're used to in Lawrence, Kansas, and then in UCLA this time of year on the coast in L.A. And the towels are out, as is the water. 2nd and 5 for the Bruins. Play action, big down to Caldwell with room. Out to the 45-yard line, a big gain and a first down for UCLA, a gain of 20 on the play. And let's send it down to Dean Blevins on the sideline. Dean?
Hey guys, bright sunny day here. 81 degrees at the stadium, and with the AstroTurf, it's probably around 100 degrees. Not a big factor with UCLA because they're used to the sun. Kansans, I'm sure, are not used to it. Ice towels go around the neck with water that drips. There's lots of Gatorade. There's lots of water in this spot cooler. And, in fact, I talked to the trainer at Kansas, and I said, what have you told him about hydration? He said, drink everything you can. He estimates at least 2 gallons per person.
And, Dean, I'm sure you've got your sunscreen today as well.
I did do that. Last year I forgot, but I'm a veteran now, Timmy.
Hey, Dean, I tell you what, I just can't bear the heat. Look at it. How'd you like to be in this suit? You think it's hot for the players. And that artificial surface just holds the heat. It's going to be a long day. Let's see in the 4th quarter. We're going to check back with the Bruin and see if the Bruin is still dancing as enthusiastically.
Well, Dean may have the towel around his neck at that point, too. 3 of 5 for Cade McNown. Not bad, but when you compare it to Mark Williams, well, he's been tremendous so far. Cross midfield up to the 49-yard line of Kansas is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as UCLA keeps it on the ground right now.
You know, you got to give those mascots a lot of credit. They are enthusiastic. They wear the costumes that they're supposed to wear. They go through workouts.
That's what I've always said about them. Were you ever a mascot?
No, but I know you wanted to.
That was my dream, Tim. Never realized it.
Kansas, the cheerleaders and the players, much of them yesterday visiting a local hospital to visit young children. Talked to some of the players. They said that was the most rewarding part of this whole trip. Milner now in the backfield as McNown rolls. The throw to Kevin Jordan, and McNown again overthrows his intended receiver. The second time that we have seen him do that.
I think Cade McNown, the freshman right now, has that adrenaline flow a little bit. He's overthrowing his receivers. He's got to come down. He had 3rd and short. The play was well designed. He had his man open. He's just got to get it out to him. True freshman, actually played in his first game. The Bruins wised up and went over in the cooler. But Cade McNown played in his first game as a true freshman before the freshmen were even starting class. He played against Miami.
That's right. Shunday Smith back deep at his own 10-yard line. Chris Saylor's second punt of the afternoon. Almost blocked. And Smith lets it bounce inside the 10 and out of the end zone. So a 49-yard punt by Saylor, and they'll bring it back out to the 20-yard line. Well, we kick it off today with the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl, but ABC Sports has 3 great bowl games to ring out the old and ring in the new. It all begins New Year's Eve at 7 Eastern as Virginia Tech takes on Texas in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Then on New Year's Day, a battle of top 5 teams. The Buckeyes of Ohio State battle Tennessee in the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl. Get a look at the Heisman Trophy winner. And at 4:30 Eastern, USC takes on the Cinderella team, Northwestern in the Rose Bowl. That's all right here on ABC.
Pretty good lineup. I like Virginia Tech. Frank Beamer's done a marvelous job there. You mentioned the Heisman Trophy winner. You also, with Tennessee, have Peyton Manning, who was a candidate, and Northwestern, the story of the year.
June Henley bouncing off tacklers, still up and now down at the 25-yard line. That's a well-deserved 4 or 5 yards. Tough going. Now, the Ohio State-Tennessee, I think, is as good as any game out there. Obviously, you got a national championship matchup, but, boy, you watch them all year. And I know you love Peyton Manning. We saw him early in the year against Mississippi State. And may have gotten more Heisman votes had he not been so young.
I remember Peyton as a little boy, and I hardly even recognized him when I went down to Knoxville and saw how big he's gotten. He is a talent. He certainly is one of the best in the country.
On 2nd and 5, the pass out to Isaac Byrd and a first down for Kansas. Out to the 33-yard line. Larry Atkins on the coverage and the stop. And the water out already on the sidelines with 19 seconds left here in the first quarter.
You know, right now the Jayhawks have dominated the first quarter. They've got the score on the very first series. They've got 2 very good defensive stops against UCLA as the last few seconds go off the clock. But the key factor is going to be late in the ball game. UCLA is so much bigger and stronger than Kansas. You wonder if the Jayhawks are going to wear down in this heat eventually.
Not easy for UCLA either. We saw before the game 60 degrees and cloudy in L.A. And they're on the sidelines taking it easy right now as are the Kansas Jayhawks trying to battle the heat. The end of the first quarter here at Aloha Stadium in the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl. And the Jayhawks with the opening drive lead by a touchdown.
Fred Engel just bought fertilizer for the women's gymnastics team. The Garcias got a new love seat for America's boxers. Deborah Bishop just bought 5 dresses for the U.S. decathlon team. And Tony Johnson, a new garden hose for the U.S. mountain bikers. When you use your Visa card, Visa will make a donation to help all our Olympic hopefuls go for the gold. Like Jerry Graff, who picked out this new aquarium for the synchronized swimmers. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
For freeing me, I shall grant thee 3 wishes.
One's enormous wealth. I want to be adored by women.
You have one final wish. Use it wisely.
Long life.
Still going.
Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and...
Sad, isn't it? Finding out you paid too much for your stereo. Circuit City. You can't find a lower price. We guarantee it.
I can't believe this has happened to me. I mean, the car tires are gone and the battery's
Everybody goes through bad times. And you can see them change if you calm them down, you explain something to them when maybe they were feeling in a position of powerlessness.
Robin, did you call a cab?
That's a great feeling. When something happens to somebody else, I want to give that back.
Thanks so much.
I think that's what this is all about, really.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
A look at Pearl Harbor, the USS Arizona Memorial, not far from Aloha Stadium. In fact, right behind us. And, of course, with the partial shutdown of the government, that's been closed all week long, but the players able to tour it.
Marcia and Lenny Klompus, who run the Aloha Bowl, made special arrangements, made sure with the government that they were able to get the players out to experience it. It is emotional. We go by there every year we're out here, and it is emotional every single time.
First and 10 at the 33 as we open up the second quarter. Williams throwing back against the grain. And Henley with room along the sideline. Across midfield down to the 46-yard line. A big gain for the Jayhawks. June Henley, the third leading receiver on this team. A gain of 21 on this play. And when the year started, Glenn Mason wanted to throw the ball more, but he had two great backs. This is how they've gotten it done.
No question about it. Look at this. Here out of the shotgun, he rolls to the left. Now watch, he'll stop. He looks. He goes back to the backside. Now this is a very aggressive defense, UCLA. So they wanted to get them to pursue their way out of it, come back and throw back against the pursuit. And they did it for the first down in the big gainer. Move the chains into the Bruin territory. Well-designed play. Very well executed.
June Henley getting a rest at least for one play now. Out of the shotgun is Mark Williams on first down. Again, a lot of room now flushed out. And in and out of the hands of L.T. Levine out of the backfield. But a look at some of the mobility of Mark Williams. And it was a very clean first quarter here. No penalties.
No penalties at all and no turnovers. If you look at it, it's a very cleanly played game. Kansas scored on the very first series to make it 7-0, and that's it. Although it has been the Jayhawks who have dominated. Look at the passing yards. 110 passing yards. Williams has been on fire. He's been red hot.
11 of 12. In fact, that was his first incomplete pass of the day. Earlier this year, he had 12 consecutive completions against Iowa State. So he almost matched that mark.
Terry, what they've done is forced UCLA now to change their game plan. They loaded up 8-man front to stop the run. They've gone ahead and passed. Now UCLA goes to a nickel scheme, and so he calls timeout.
And Glenn Mason will talk it over with Mark Williams. UCLA will talk it over as well, and we'll be back in a moment to Aloha Stadium.
Once again, Jeep Grand Cherokee has emerged as four-wheel and off-road magazine's 4x4 of the year.
Did you ever wonder how silly life is? When you're 80, what's it going to matter if you took off one Wednesday, played the tuba, and had a beer? If you work every night until midnight for 45 years, do you get your own cloud or an imitation gold-painted pen? Of course, you might invent the formula for the breakdown of nuclear waste and retire at 29. Who knows? One thing's for sure, you're special. A 1 in a million, which means there's 1,000 people just like you in China. Just something to discuss over your next great-tasting Amstel Light. A light beer for a heavy world.
Ah, the fresh autumn air. Where are those darn flashlights?
Ow! Dependable Duracell batteries. Nothing lasts longer.
Hey, where's mine?
The Copper Top. No battery is stronger, longer.
Nicorette? I found out about it from my doctor.
Nicorette is nicotine gum. It's serious medicine, and only your doctor can prescribe it for you.
So why not talk with your healthcare professional and find out whether Nicorette is right for you?
Northwestern plays its first bowl game in 47 years. They go to war with the Trojans of USC in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. New Year's Day on ABC.
On the third day of Christmas, Santa brought to me 3 QB sacks, 2 new coaches, and a win at the Aloha Bowl.
Hey, Merry Christmas, USA! Can you carry a tune?
Looked like they lacked a little confidence there. Do you know the words?
Well, it is warm as we started the game. 81 degrees, and I'm sure it's much warmer than that now, and a lot warmer than that down on the AstroTurf. 2nd and 10 for the Jayhawks after the timeout. Galbraith with the carry this time, not going anywhere. Just backwards. Donnie Edwards, a middle linebacker, along with George Case, met him. And Donnie Edwards, the senior out of San Diego, last year the defensive player of the year in the Pac-10. The injuries this year, he missed 5 games, and it's been a struggle for him.
He's an outside linebacker before they changed the scheme defensively. Look at him. He used that speed, that versatility to get up and read it, stop it. It's a good adjustment by Bob Field, the defensive coordinator. They have been playing an 8-man front trying to stop the run. Kansas has been throwing, so they went to a dime package and actually used his speed. Looking for the draw. He was locked on that time and made the tackle.
So 3rd and 13, and look at the room for Henley. To the far sideline, trying to get to the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas. "49 yards and a touchdown for June Henley, and once he broke back, there was no one there."
Got to tell you, Mason right now has a game plan that's masterful. They pass when they load it up, they go and they play the pass, and now they start to run again. Look at the hole, watch the block. Look at that block right there, the kick out by Roberts. Boom, then here he comes. Henley around the corner. Now watch the speed. This guy's 5'11", 205 pounds. This is his 9th touchdown of the year. His best games have been against ranked teams. He's got great speed. They call him a slasher more than a power guy, but he looked like a power guy at the end zone. Banged his way in across the goal line. Nice touchdown, and the extra point is good.
Jeff McCord with the extra point, the 49-yard run by June Henley, and the Jayhawks shocking UCLA 14-0.
The warmest aloha from the Sheraton hotels that call Waikiki Beach home. The Sheraton Waikiki, the Royal Hawaiian, the Sheraton Moana Surf Rider, the Sheraton Princess Kaiulani. Let Sheraton turn the world's most famous beach into your own tropical paradise. Come celebrate aloha with Sheraton. For reservations, call 1-800-STAY-ITT.
Hey, what is it you want?
He wants our opinion.
Of what, of this? Oh, come on.
Little milk and flakes.
You heard him. Flakes.
He wants us to try.
Oh, come on. Listen, we try. Will you go away? Try them, quick.
All right,
in the middle of the game. Eating in the middle of the game.
I gotta tell you, Ray, these are pretty good.
Not bad.
Crunchy.
Fill up a couple of more bowls and then scram, okay?
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
You're very picky. I like that. Did you move?
No.
Don't move when I'm not looking.
Taste them again for the first time. A date on the calendar. Monthly exams. The beat of a heart. A glimpse into the future. All the pieces that add up to a large dose of caring and concern from a pioneer in managed health care. Because babies need to be taken care of well before they're born. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Tuesday, there's a short fuse at the Connors.
Knock it off! If you guys can't do your braids nicely, then don't do them at all.
Roseanne, Tuesday on ABC.
Smiles and high fives right now for the Jayhawks. They lead 14-0. They took the opening kickoff, drove down the field, scored a touchdown, and June Henley has just run it from 49 yards out into the end zone. And back deep, Jim McElroy is end zone. Knocked out of bounds around the 23-yard line, and UCLA trying to get something going. Been a little bit flat at this point, Tim.
You mentioned the first touchdown. They were 6 for 6 passing. Now, watch this. UCLA adjusts. Look, here's your down guy. Then look how thin everybody is, because now they're expecting all the pass. So they're going to run. Here comes your guy. He'll pull out of here, and then watch. Here comes Henley. We'll follow him up. They spread them thin, expecting the pass. They take the run. Watch the block by 77 Roberts. Boom, clears the way. Here comes your center over, knocks him out. Right there, it's all sealed off. There's not a blue or a white shirt in front of him. Henley just outruns him to the corner. That is well executed. Perfect.
ran away from everyone, even the blue shirts. 6 plays, 80 yards, and almost 2.5 minutes off the clock. And on this kickoff, the first penalty of the afternoon.
You know, as you look at Henley, I can't help but think back that Rick Neuheisel of Colorado said he thought Henley was one of the best running backs Colorado faced all year.
The penalty against Kansas, and it moves the ball out to the 38, almost the 39-yard line, and maybe gives UCLA a little bit of life. Tom Robinson's crew here this afternoon at our Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl. McNown under pressure, and down he goes at the 26-yard line. From the Blythe sign, Steve Bratton got there first. Well, you wonder about the reaction to Glenn Mason's announcement at the beginning of the game that he's staying. I'm sure, speaking of blindsided, that the players felt like that. And the emotion obviously used early on in this game with the heat, with everything else. And he mentioned, you wonder if that can sustain itself. McNown under pressure again and throws it away right through the hands of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
You know, before this game, I think everybody expected that he was going to go to Georgia. To make that announcement that he's staying has shocked the world.
Follow up on that. Let's send it down to Dean Blevins on the sideline. Dean?
Point. I've got to tell you, though, that I talked to Ben Roots, the heir apparent at quarterback, before the ball game started, and I asked him when he told the team. He said it was earlier this morning, and I said, what was the reaction? And he said, shocked more than anything. And I said, will it be a factor in this game today, the emotional part? And he said, no, I really don't think so. Can't tell him by looking at the scoreboard, but that's what a guy on the team says.
Well, however they've done it, it's 14-0. McNown throws to double coverage at the 49-yard line and incomplete. Out of bounds was Dorian Brew. Actually made the interception, but he was well out of bounds.
Yeah, he was out of bounds. I said Glenn Mason's decision shocked the world of Athens and the world of Lawrence, at least. Watch Brew here. Reads it, goes up, gets it at his highest point. See if his feet don't come in bounds. There's one. That's all he needs. That's an interception. That should have been a pick.
Did he have control of the football at that point? That's the only question.
I think he did. I think Dorian Brew had his 5th interception of the year, and they aren't going to give him credit for it.
So 4th and really long, 21. Saylor on, almost blocked again. They've almost gotten to him twice. Smith at his own 31. And down after a couple of yards on the return out to the 33-yard line.
I want you to watch his hands, Terry. Let's go back and watch Dorian Brew. You're saying, does he have possession? Number one, they've got double coverage. Dorian Brew reads it, plays inside out. Now watch, he'll go and get the ball at its highest point. Now, as soon as he grabs it, he starts to tuck it away. Watch his hands now. Here he goes. The ball's in his hands. He starts to tuck it away. Now, here comes his foot. Boop, he's got it. That's an interception.
You know, the official is standing right there with a good look at whether or not he's got control, too, Tim.
I don't care where he is. Look at this. I've got a TV set that says, yes, he's got the pick. His foot's down.
Yeah, but you can't tell if he had possession or bobbling at that point.
Well, I understand what you're saying. He doesn't have the advantage. We have to watch the replay slowly.
But he had a better angle.
He makes the pick.
We got to have at least one argument on Christmas Day, don't we?
What a Grinch you are.
Williams throws it away under pressure. Only the 2nd time today that he's thrown an incomplete pass.
All kidding aside, McNown throws that pass that could very well have been intercepted. And I think about Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator. He said, hey, one thing Cade does, he's a freshman. Sometimes he tries to force the ball in there. Sometimes he takes sacks. He's got to learn not to do that.
Kansas offense, 187 yards and 2 touchdowns already. Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator for UCLA, trying to find a way to do just that.
He's a granddad today. Bob Toledo's daughter, Krista, had a Christmas baby, Nikki Alexander Long. So Merry Christmas and congratulations.
Williams scrambling, throwing, and throws it away. And that was a good idea. No one open, and he was going down one way or another.
I'll tell you something about Bob Toledo. I'm a big fan of his. I was at Texas A&M when he was under R.C. Slocum. I'm a big fan of his at UCLA, and I think that if the folks at UCLA are looking for a qualified head coach, you've got one right there. Bob Toledo would do an outstanding job as head coach. I'm sure that Cade McNown as quarterback number 18 right there. I understand he's already gone to see Pete Dallas on Bob Toledo's behalf, and UCLA couldn't do much better than that.
And a fine man. Nice guy, you know. We spent some time with him. We have this week. Straightforward, tells it like it is. 3rd and 10 for Kansas. Out of the shotgun under pressure. And again, Williams throws it away. L.T. Levine was there, but Weldon Ford got to Williams in a hurry. Now Saturday on ABC Sports, it's an NFL wild card playoff doubleheader. Matchups are set. The Dolphins go to Buffalo to take on the Bills, and then Detroit goes to Philly to take on the Eagles. Noon Eastern, Saturday here on ABC Sports.
Well, I tell you, who would have thought it, the way that Oakland started out this year at 8-2, that they weren't going to make it. Miami, after struggling like it did midseason at the end, that they would make it.
It's a long season.
I'm happy for Dan Marino, though. Nobody wants to get in there more than he does.
Gidry looking for room, and knocked down at the 22. What a hit at the 22-yard line. 49-yard punt, 7-yard return.
Steve, hi. I've checked the inventory. Here's the situation. I can do 25,000 units. I can give you the top 10 sellers in margin. I can give you the top 10 sellers in volume. I can break it down by category, by week, by store, by garment. Yep. Come on in.
I won't be but a minute.
You could double your sales. Miss, do you mind? What do you mean nobody's going to wear chartreuse? I'm going to wear chartreuse no hair. I'm wearing it now, as a matter of fact. Would you send me an email to confirm? Yeah, this is very good. You won't regret it. You won't.
At Chili's, we're always fixing up something special from the grill, like our Caribbean chicken salad with grilled marinated chicken and grilled tuna salad with ranch dressing and spicy pico de gallo. So if you like your salads fresh from the farm and hot off the grill, Chili's grills like no place else.
Cherokee, four-wheel and off-roads 4x4 of the year.
UCLA struggled early this year in the Pac-10. On September 23rd, they went to Pullman, Washington, to take on the Cougars of Washington State. The stage was set for an upset. First quarter, Jay Dumas, a 72-yard punt return for Washington State. And much like this game today, UCLA coming out a little bit flat on that day. The comeback effort a little bit short. Fourth quarter, 31-yard touchdown pass to Kevin Jordan, but it wasn't enough. UCLA losing 24-15, dropped their first two games in the Pac-10, and trying to get back into this one here.
Breakdowns and turnovers, the big key in their losses this year. Terry Donahue knew they got off to learning process all the way through for Cade McNown, and they are flat here early. It looks like they're still on their mopeds and boogie boards rather than being at Aloha Stadium.
And that's hard. You come out here in the weather and the whole week to get yourself together, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has on this play across the 40 to the 42. Thad Warren, the strong safety, made the stop, but that was after a gain of 19 yards by Abdul-Jabbar.
Somebody gave him a wake-up call. Watch the center right in the middle, 58 Flanagan. Here we go. Let's move him out of the way. Get some help from Overhauser, number 69. Boom, that's a pancake. Flatten him, dominating block. That opens things up for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You've got a guy that's gone over 2,000 yards. He's got 7 straight 100-yard games. He's got 11 100-yard games in his career. This guy's special. They open up a hole like that, and UCLA will wake up in a hurry.
44 yards already for Abdul-Jabbar. McNown to throw. Going up top. And a lot of contact down at the 20-yard line. McElroy, the intended receiver, Jamie Harris on the coverage. McElroy trying to cut back to get to the ball, and there was a lot of contact, no flag. Of course, previously seen on ABC Sports this afternoon, the Blue with the 26-7 win in the Kelly Tires Blue-Gray All-Star Classic. Cade McNown, 3 for 9 for 31 yards on the afternoon of this one. The scramble, which he does well. And knocked down at the 47, emphatically, by Keith Rogers.
Boy, right now, Kansas is just being so physical. Cade McNown just looks unsure of himself. He's not positive. He's not into a rhythm passing. They go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He comes up with the big gainer, but then they go deep on a pass, and then the quarterback rolls. I'd go back to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and just keep banging him in there, see if they can get something going offensively.
And Kansas coming into this game, obviously, the change of plans before the game. Glenn Mason announcing to his team that he will stay in Kansas. Earlier this week, he accepted the head coaching position at the University of Georgia. So quite a shock to those in Athens, those in Lawrence, and college football fans everywhere. 3rd and 4, McNown. The quick out to Derek Ayers right at midfield. And that's short of a first down by about a yard.
Boy, that's a tremendous catch under a lot of pressure, I'll tell you that. But watch McNown. Cade McNown is 6'1", but he can barely see. We told you how tall the Kansas kids are. Where is Cade McNown? There he is. All of a sudden, he just throws it out there over top of those guys, but his vision was blocked. He had to find the channel, the lane, the open lane. He got the completion about a yard short. So, well, I tell you what, UCLA.
They're going.
I'd go for it, too, in a heartbeat right here at midfield. I'd give it to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
4th and almost 2. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the lone back in the backfield. Straight ahead, he's got the first down and into Kansas territory.
Boy, if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar can't get a yard for you, then you've got a problem. Now, you've got an offensive line that averages about 300 pounds. Look at the white jerseys, push him out of there, force everybody over. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gets in with the linebackers and then slithers his way for the first. He's special. Formerly Sharman Shaw.
Well, we've talked about Jonathan Ogden, but Mike Flanagan, the center, you mentioned him a moment ago. 3-year starter. He started 31 straight games for the Bruins. Second team All Pac-10. And always been a free spirit. One of those guys who's fun to be around. Abdul-Jabbar back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a half a yard.
You know, it's amazing to me the way the college football game is going, and the pro game for that matter. But you've got these 300-pound linemen, and they're pulling all the time, just like little guards used to do in the old days. But these are 300-pound men that are pulling. They run 4.8 40s. They're getting them out of there. Good footwork. Then they have to run down the line, find a little guy to block. It's tough to do when you're that big.
Second down and 9. Ayers in motion to the far side. Abdul-Jabbar straight ahead to the 34-yard line. He loves to run between the tackles, has the power to do it.
Talked about the 300-pound guys getting out and blocking. Watch Christensen. He's 290, one of the smaller ones, but he pulls out of there. So watch number 62 throw the block for him. Boom, right there. Just big enough for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to get through the hole. Then he does the rest on balance. He's got that low center of gravity. He's got great balance. He's only 5'10", 200 pounds, and I think because he's got that low center of gravity, you know, he can spin and drive and get a few extra yards. Look what he's done here already in this drive.
In a 14 on that last play. First down for the Bruins. James Milner, who came in for Abdul-Jabbar, bouncing off tacklers, and down at the line of scrimmage, Dick Holt and Jason Thorne, the linebackers, in there first. Now, near the conclusion of today's Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl, we'll be announcing the selections for the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl most valuable players of the game from each of the teams. Jeep Eagle will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in the pursuit of excellence in all chosen fields.
You mentioned Ed Brust earlier, the head of the Jeep Eagle organization, and he says, make sure you say hi to all our friends in Michigan from Jeep Eagle and Ed Brust.
Ninth play of the drive for the Bruins. Milner tripped up at the line of scrimmage, may have tripped over his own offensive lineman.
Best drive of the day for UCLA, though. They're starting to use what they do best. They're big, strong offensive linemen. Just let their running backs get up in there and start banging. You bang them down, you may not have that early success, but in this kind of heat, the bigger guys will always beat down the smaller guys eventually. Just wear them down.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in the game now for James Milner, who started the USC game when Abdul-Jabbar was out with the ankle. Milner had 74 yards in that game. UCLA rushed for 216 yards without this man right here, led by that man. Down to the 26-yard line. Boy, how about that sight if you're a running back, to look up and see number 79 leading the way.
It's a lot of beef, isn't it? Quality player, 4'8", 40. Guy that's 315 pounds and 6'8", All-American, Outland Trophy. Best lineman in college football, I think. Should be one of the top 5 guys taken in the draft, depending on what teams are drafting and what they need.
Short of the first down, and Bjorn Merton comes on for a field goal attempt of 43 yards. Hooking, and no good. Merton now 10 out of 17 on the year. Greg Andrusik from Honolulu, another option for Terry Donahue, and we may see him later on today.
And another stop for Kansas.
The Jayhawks on a roll with the stop, and they lead 14-0.
4th and inches. Coach Bannon, he likes to punt.
Huh? No way.
Whoa!
Check this out.
Attention, Coach Bannon. Go for it. Be a man.
Oh, what do you know, Steve? They're going to go for it. Just a reminder, when you've got the great taste of an ice cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Do you like my new hat?
Contact cross back to pass.
Jones is open in the end zone.
Throws it to Jones, who drops the ball.
Back off.
Should have punted.
Yep. In 1895, Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays. The following year, Siemens worked closely with him to develop its first X-ray tubes. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens manufactures imaging technology that helps doctors save lives. And with 46,000 people nationwide, the men and women of Siemens will continue to manufacture ideas that even Professor Röntgen never dreamed of. Siemens, precision thinking.
You know, an apple sitting around too long, it goes bad. The same thing with a new battery. It loses power waiting to be bought. That's why at Interstate, we're constantly checking our batteries to make sure they're fresh, so that you don't end up with a bad apple.
With my itchy dandruff, I said I'd try it. Denorex tingles. Head & Shoulders doesn't.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denorex has something extra that tingles, feels fresh.
That's why I started using Denorex. The flakes, the itch, gone.
Denorex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
Christmas, my love gave to me. 4 punt returns, 3 QB sacks, 2 new coaches, and a win at the Aloha Bowl. Hey, Merry Christmas, Mama.
Hey, Mama. My question is, can you wear that shirt in Lawrence?
Well, I'm not sure, but I know this for a fact. They ought to go out and find Milli Vanilli.
Santa Claus leaving his calling card here at Aloha Stadium. Terry Gannon, Tim Brandt, Dean Blevins. The Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl. And a pitch straight ahead to Eric Van. First time we've seen him with the ball today. Across the 30, up to the 33-yard line. Kansas starting another drive. They lead it 14-0. And have really dominated this game to this point.
Boy, outstanding performance so far by Mark Williams, the quarterback for Kansas. What a job he's done. His decision-making ability has been exceptional. You know, he's not the prototype quarterback of the 90s. He's 6'1", but he is very, very efficient.
Williams giving to Levine. Draws a crowd right at the 35-yard line. Needs to get to the 36 for a Kansas first down. Gary Walton was there first to make the stop.
Always hear these nicknames, LT and June, your running backs. Stand for Latrell and Charles.
Charles Jr.
Charles Jr.
There's Walton coming off, the senior out of San Diego.
Levine gets to come back here. He's coming back for the Hula Bowl.
And you can see the heat fitting, I guess, with the palm trees in the background. Very hot on that AstroTurf. 3rd and 1. Friday in motion and a big block. Straight ahead. Across midfield down to the 46 of UCLA is Henley. They only needed a yard. But got a lot more than that. Levine with a nice block. Hosea Friday, the tight end, also cleared the way.
Tell you this, give Jones, Banks, Smith, Roberts, Whitaker, give all these guys a lot of credit on this. Watch this. All right, stop it right here. Here's his alley. Boom, Boom. There's only one guy here. It's Lawrence. Now watch what he does to Lawrence. Go ahead. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence says, wait a minute, I'm getting out of the way. Henley's coming through. The guy's a load. He's 205 pounds. Finally catches him from behind. But that is a great job by the line. Great job by Henley getting through the hole, then protecting the ball.
Gain of 20 on the play, and Williams rolling out. Throws complete to Bird at the 32-yard line, and they should move the chains again. Enough for a first down. Well, tonight on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the final game of the regular season. Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys battle the Arizona Cardinals. A lot on the line, even though Barry Switzer didn't think there was going to be. The 49ers lost. They'll battle for home field advantage. Cowboys with a chance to grab that tonight at 9 Eastern here on ABC Sports.
Cowboys have to have that win. Could take some of the pressure off Barry Switzer. I'll tell you something else, too. I'm sure Barry was going to rest a lot of those guys because they're so banged up. Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith weren't going to play a whole lot. They'll have to go the distance now, and they're going to have to play well.
First down, and Levine wrapped up in the backfield. Boy, how quick did Jason Nevedonsky get there? Loss of a couple. Nevedonsky, a junior out of Fullerton, California.
You know what makes that special? Nevedonsky's playing with a slight separation in his shoulder. He's got a dislocated shoulder today. It's chronic. He's fought through it all year, but he's playing with that. He's saying, hey, I want to play in this. It's Christmas Day. It's in Hawaii. It's a big bowl game. National television. I want to play. So he's out there with a slight dislocation of his shoulder.
Second and long. Williams out of the shotgun over the middle, complete down at the 30-yard line. Andre Carter, the junior out of Tampa, Florida, on the catch, with Paul Guidry with a hard tackle at the 30.
Williams is in such a rhythm right now. He's playing with such great confidence.
After 11 straight completions, he had 4 straight incomplete. Now goes back on the positive side.
It's got to make a head coach feel pretty good. You've got 14 on the board, and your quarterback is just right now 14 of 18, 157 yards, a touchdown, and not even close to a mistake.
They bring June Henley out to the slot, and L.T. Levine, the lone setback. Straight drop for Williams. Flushed out now. The guy can run. Down to the 13-yard line. It looked like he was going down in the backfield. And a gain of 17.
Talked about Williams' mobility. We talked about his escapability. Now watch this. UCLA comes with a blitz. Freeze it. Right over here comes the blitz. And it's L.T. Levine that steps up and buys some time for him. Now Williams can feel that pressure. Boom, there's the block again. Now he comes up and uses that speed to get out of the pocket, find the hole, locate the alley, move the chains, and pick up the first down. Pretty good day, huh?
Well-rounded so far. Henley looking for room, bouncing to the 11. Gain of a yard for June Henley.
Terry, the coaches told us that with a pro-style attack, Kansas now has more depth at quarterback than at any other time in Glenn Mason's 7 years at Kansas. I mean, you've got Williams, you've got Roots. Roots will step in and take over the job. You've got, of course, what a trio that you've got when you've got Williams playing like this and you've got Levine and Henley behind him.
You've got Henley coming back next year as well. 250 yards for Kansas, only 96 for UCLA.
That's dominant.
Moore, the intended receiver, and he can't get there. Jim Moore caught a touchdown pass on the first drive. Tommy Bennett on the coverage. And, you know, Tommy Bennett, questionable going into this game. One of the keys to UCLA's defense, but he had the ankle injury. And all week, the coaches talked as if he was not going to play. Just before the game, they told us, yeah, he'll definitely be in the lineup, but we don't know how far he can go.
Yeah, Bennett, a former safety, he really steps into an important role, too. That's the position that Jameer Miller played so well for so long for UCLA. He stepped up this year. He's had 2 touchdowns, 3 fumble recoveries, a couple forced fumbles, 8 deflected passes. He's played well.
3rd and long, and Williams tries to get there just shy of the 5-yard line. Weldon Ford made the stop. They tried to quick hitter with a quarterback, and now Glenn Mason will send the field goal team onto the field. Not before UCLA has called a timeout. 4th and 10, the field goal team is starting to trot onto the field. Kansas leading 14-0, trying to put more on the scoreboard.
Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
Being a parent is all about being there, whether it's a homecoming game or something as important as a college education. State Farm understands that. That's why State Farm Life Insurance makes sense. It's a smart way to help secure your children's future if something ever happened to you. See your State Farm agent for life insurance that's right for your family. It'll help make sure that all your dreams will be protected, like helping your children realize theirs.
State Farm understands life.
Beginning January 8th, Murder One moves to Mondays. And because great shows are rare, we'd like you to take just a few minutes on January 8th and let us catch you up on what TV Guide calls the best new show of the year. We really think it's worth it. Stephen Bochco's Murder One, Mondays at 10, 9 Central, starting January 8th on ABC. It's never too late to get caught up in murder.
1:32 left in the first half here at the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl at Aloha Stadium. Jeff McCord, the field goal kicker, 9 of 12 coming into this game on the year. And they place it down at the 17-yard line, a 27-yard attempt by McCord. No question about it. And no question about what Kansas has come to do today.
Boy, have they played well. Jayhawks all over the field defensively, offensively, pretty much having their way against the Bruins. UCLA came in as the favorite. Now the Bruins find themselves down 17-0 as we're almost to halftime.
Well, everyone asked Terry Donahue how they could be a 5-point favorite when Kansas was ranked number 11 and UCLA wasn't ranked. He said, I don't know, we'll find out. And so far, we found out a little bit. The Pac-10 standings, this is how things went this year. Stanford right there with UCLA.
I thought Stanford would be in this bowl. As a matter of fact, it looked like the Cardinal would be here at the Aloha Bowl, but then UCLA beat USC, and they waited that win, and the Bruins came.
Bruins had 4-4 on the year. Our producer, Kim Belton, of course, very excited about the Stanford season. Former Cardinal himself.
One of the all-time greats.
He'll tell you that. Jim, along with Bill Webb, our director, he's providing the pictures today. Here's the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl. McElroy, 5 yards deep, down to a knee, and they'll bring it out to the 20. UCLA coming into this game, the emotion everyone talked about of Terry Donahue leaving, but you know, in this first half, Tim, they have just not been able to get anything going at all.
You know, I think right now Bob Toledo has to come out and get that big offensive line and just establish itself. Let Kareem Abdul-Jabbar run. He's got 11 carries, 66 yards here in the first half. I think he's got to do that. And I wouldn't be against putting in a few extra wrinkles, put in a trick play or two, and let that be the little goose factor for the team. Let them get excited.
Well, they've got 1st and 10 at the 20. Just under a minute and a half to go here. McElroy, the intended receiver, nowhere near him. The coverage by Dorian Brew, the all-Big 8 left cornerback for the Jayhawks. And Cade McNown has not been on target today.
I think it's critical now for Bob Toledo just to open things, to do a little trick play or get Jabbar going. Let's really get this UCLA team going, because right now the Bruins are sleepwalking.
Stay tuned with us at halftime. Coming up, college football halftime report. Celebration down on the field, a Hawaiian luau, Christmas in Hawaii. We'll have a tribute to Terry Donahue, of course, after 20 years at the helm for UCLA. So college football halftime report coming up in less than a minute and a half. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the carry straight ahead.
Terry,
the clock runs, Tim.
Give Kansas a lot of credit here. I mean, they've taken away everything from UCLA. I know the coaches for the Bruins said, hey, we want to stay out of long yardage situations. And so far, that's all they've faced in this first half. Long yardage, 3rd and long, 2nd and long.
You've got 3rd and 7 now. 52 and counting left here in the first half. McNown out of the gun. To Kevin Jordan, who's been quiet today. Out to the 33-yard line, a first down for UCLA.
That'll move the chain, stop the clock with 42 seconds left. Think of the receivers they've had at UCLA, and that'll tell you how good Kevin Jordan is. JoJo Tanzel and Flipper Anderson, Mike Sherrod, Jordan LaChapelle. He's passed them all. He ranks up there with J.J. Stokes.
Jordan, the all-time leading receiver in terms of yardage and completion. UCLA history. McNown with the scramble. Cross midfield. Then down to the 44-yard line. You've got 31 seconds left here in the first half. They move the chains. The clock stops. A gain of 19 for McNown.
Get him up. He's got to get him up to the line of scrimmage and get him going. He's looking for the signal for the play from the sideline. He gets it from Bob Toledo. Now he'll go back and they're going to take a timeout.
Bob Toledo wants to talk about it on the sideline, and you had the feeling that UCLA may just run out the clock after a couple of runs. Now, of course, you know you're going to score here.
You'd like to say it's a good decision, but he was actually chased out of the pocket. What he did is make the most of a bad situation. Cade McNown, boy, he's going to be a talent. True freshman. You know, his mom loved Gone with the Wind, and she named him after a Confederate soldier in the book named Cade. That's a strong name, Cade McNown.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, his dad just called him Stud. He's mature beyond his years, though. Just 18 years old.
Spent 3 years in Hollister, California in terms of high school. And then his final year at West Lynn up in Oregon. And yes, the Christmas trees are here in Hawaii, but we didn't bring the ornament.
That was your job.
That was Dean Blevins' job, I believe. Dean, what happened?
Well, this tree is really one of the great things that is done year-round with this bowl. It's a year-round effort, and actually 50 homeless adults and children decorated this tree, and they are only part of the festivities, but a wonderful part of it. And Marcia and Lenny Klompus do a wonderful job, and this is just part of it.
One of the many,
we agree with that.
One of many things with this bowl game, too, that's very positive. Mentioned Kansas going to see the youngsters yesterday in the hospital. McNown hit, the ball loose. Kansas should have it.
No, that should be an incompleted pass.
You think
should
they will?
be an incompleted pass.
And that's how they rule it.
His arm was definitely going forward.
Keith Rogers got there first, and they do rule that McNown's arm is going forward.
I think Brian Richards is shaken up, too. He landed right on the ball, knocked the wind out of him. Now watch Cade's arm. He's a left-hander. Here comes the pressure, backside. He doesn't see it coming, but he steps up. There goes the arm forward. Incompleted pass. Now you watch the end of this. Ball was still loose. That's when Richards jumped on it and knocked the wind out of him. So he's going to come out for a breather, so to speak.
Brian Richards, the tight end of Atwater, California. And everyone gets a breather for the next 23 seconds. UCLA would like to get on the board before that. Hit again is McNown. The arm coming forward.
Same situation, same corner, brought to backside. Rogers, the outside linebacker, the captain of that defense, came free. Nobody's picking him up. You've got to have some kind of backside protection for the quarterback. Great job by that guy. Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator, has done a super job with this defense all year. I watched him in Colorado. He was successful there. He comes now as defensive coordinator at Kansas. He's successful. They go to 9-2. This first half has been a great job.
3rd and 10, 17 seconds to go. Up the far sideline and out of bounds. Intended for Eric Scott. But he was well covered by Jamie Harris. And 9 seconds remain here in the first half. You know, McNown's been under pressure on this drive, and you say with the big offensive line of UCLA, how does Kansas get there? But if you know UCLA has to pass, obviously you can sit back and come right after it.
Well, Kansas is cheating a lot, too. They're overloading sides and outnumbering UCLA to a certain side. In other words, they're taking a lot of risks, a lot of gamble. They could get caught, but so far it's worked.
That's how they've played all year, as a matter of fact. McNown over the middle and incomplete.
Derek Ayers, the intended receiver, he was hit by Maurice Gaddy. And Kansas will take over with 3 seconds left here in the first. Well, it hasn't been a very successful first half for Terry Donahue in his last game at the helm for UCLA. Kansas came out after Glenn Mason, the head coach, announced to his team that he will stay in Lawrence and not take the head coaching job at Georgia, as he had announced earlier in the week, and they have used that. They have dominated since the first kick, 17-0, Kansas winning.
Kansas, even though it's been dominating and a big lead, you don't want to take a shot here. You just want to take a knee. Don't want to make any mistakes and give them some kind of weird play. Just take a knee and get out of here.
And that's exactly what Mark Williams does. When the clock ticks away, it puts an end to the first half of play. Terry Donahue trying to figure out what he can say at halftime, and Glenn Mason certainly very happy about what has taken place here in the first half. Got to be very proud of the way they played.
I think Terry Donahue's got to shake his guys up. He's got to put a little fire under them, goose them a little bit in that locker room. Show some sort of emotion himself to get them going. I think Glenn Mason just says, hey, job well done.
And speaking of Glenn Mason, Dean Blevins is with him down on the field right now. Dean?
Glenn, I know after the game you're going to address the situation with Georgia, which we talked about earlier in the show. What are your emotions at this point?
Well, I'm ahead by 17 points, and it's Christmas Day. How could any guy be any luckier in any place? So I thought my players played hard. I thought UCLA played hard, but it's only halftime. They don't pay you in our game for lap money, so we got a long way to go.
All right, thanks, Bunch. We'll see you after the game.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
All right, Dean, emotional probably at the start of the day, but very happy right now. Kansas leading 17-0 over UCLA. College football halftime report coming up next.
ABC Sports coverage of the 1995 Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl. Brought to you by Eagle Vision TSI, featuring the revolutionary auto stick system. And Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. We'll be back with more from the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl after this message and a word from our ABC station.
When I took the High Endurance Challenge from Old Spice, I really thought it was going to be a challenge. I mean, this is a challenge. This is a sure thing. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer, protects better. Old Spice guarantees it. Now, if you don't think it's the best, you call 1-800-PROVE-IT, and they'll buy you a stick of your old deodorant. So if you're looking for a real challenge, go climb a mountain. If you're looking for the best deodorant, try High Endurance from Old Spice. Because now you got proof. Guaranteed.
Walk into any Office Depot, and two things are obvious. Thousands of brand-name office products and guaranteed low prices. But that's not all.
You can order by phone or fax and get guaranteed delivery next business day.
And for corporate clients who require a professional account executive, Office Depot's Business Services Division provides total business solutions nationwide.
Taking care of business. Office Depot, taking care of business for companies of every size, everywhere, every day.
Hey, vacation! Yeah! Are they going with her?
I don't know.
Oh, no. This is exactly how it started last time. Did they reserve a big enough car in our baby seat?
Not exactly.
Did we get computerized driving directions like her?
Not exactly.
Oh, remember what happened?
Exactly.
For over 75 years, nobody knows what you need exactly like Hertz.
See? They did rent from Hertz. I knew they had good taste.
Not exactly. Get a load of her outfits. Look at his shoes.
Ladies and ladies, have we got the man for you? He flexes, he pouts, and he loves long walks on the beach. And, of course, he's anatomically correct. If you order today, we'll also throw in Tappin' Tony. But wait, there's more! Where can you receive this wonderful gift? On Hudson Street, ABC Tuesday nights. If you order now, we'll throw in me, Tuesday nights right after Hudson Street. I sing, I dance, I cry, I wet, and if you pull my string...
Hudson Street and Home Improvement, Tuesday, here on ABC.
Mazda now! It's zero down clearance time. 24-month leases. 8 days only. Mazda now! On Protege, 0 on 189. 626-0209. Now! B2300 SE, 0 and 209. Counting down. Zero down ends January 2nd.
Right now, you can take to the slopes at your Chevy dealer with a voucher good for a free all-day adult lift ticket to Mountain High in Wrightwood just by test driving the new Chevy Blazer or the new Chevy Astrovan. You'll enjoy the Mountain High Express that jets you to the top in only 6 minutes. There's no obligation. Just test drive the new Chevy Blazer or Chevy Astrovan and get a free lift ticket voucher to Mountain High. But hurry, this offer ends soon. See your participating Southern California Chevy Geo dealer today.
A grand prize video system giveaway tonight at 9 on 7.
ABC Sports presents the College Football Halftime Report. Now, here's your host, Terry Gannon.
And welcome back to the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl here at Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. Kansas dominant in the first half. They lead UCLA 17-0. And it's been a different flair all week long. When you do spend the holidays here in Hawaii, you get a sense of Christmas in paradise. The gala, the luau, taking place down on the field.
That spirit of aloha begins with you and me. So come with me. While the moon is on the sea, and so are we. Welcome to my island, reach out and you will see that the spirit of aloha begins with you and me.
And welcome back, everyone. I'm Terry Gannon. Merry Christmas once again. You know, this is the best time of the year if you're a college football fan, and we're helping kick off the bowl week here on ABC. A lot of great games over the next 6 or 7 days. And right now, we join Brent Musburger to take a look at a bowl preview.
ABC Sports rings out the old year and rings in the new with 3 terrific college football bowl games. First on New Year's Eve, Virginia Tech tackles the Texas Longhorns in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. The Hokies won 9 straight games to win the Big East title, sometimes in dramatic fashion.
Picked off by Virginia Tech. Antonio Banks takes it all the way.
The Longhorns have won 6 straight and captured the final title in Southwest Conference history. Then on New Year's Day, we'll get 1996 started when top 5 powers go head-to-head. The Ohio State Buckeyes battle the Tennessee Volunteers in the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl. Ohio State is led by Heisman Trophy winner Eddie George, who rolled up more than 300 yards in a key Buckeye win over Illinois.
Touchdown! Oh, baby, what a run!
Tennessee's top gun is sophomore quarterback Peyton Manning, already projected as a top Heisman hopeful for 1996. Then it's off to Pasadena for the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, as number 3 Northwestern tackles the Trojans of USC. The Wildcats are making their first bowl appearance in 47 years, powered by running back Darnell Autry.
Autry gets inside, touchdown, Northwestern, great run by Autry.
The Trojans captured the Pac-10 title, advancing to the Rose Bowl for the first time in 6 years. 3 great games. On New Year's Eve, the Nokia Sugar Bowl. And on New Year's Day, the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl and the Rose Bowl. Celebrate college football here on ABC Sports.
And Tim Brandt, what do you think about this bowl lineup? Your picks, sir?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like Virginia Tech very much. I think Frank Beamer's done a great job, so I'll take the Hokies in that first game. Then I think you mentioned Eddie George. I like the Peyton Manning. I like Tennessee against Ohio State very much with their speed. And then, how can you go away with the best story of the college football year and Northwestern?
One of the best stories in all of sports this year. Northwestern going out to the Rose Bowl. We'll come back with our tribute to Terry Donahue when we return to Aloha Stadium.
Under the direction of Blake.
Todd and Celia Unger began their voyage together nearly 40 years ago. Today, they embark on retirement as carefree as when they first set out. That's because for the past 20-some years, they've worked with a broker from Dean Witter.
Respect the power of a client's dream and help them achieve it.
At Dean Witter,
we measure success one investor at a time.
It's been an amazing journey, from a 2-year college to a truly international universe of people and structures and programs. And it's come so far in only 75 years, building and preserving tradition, creating memories, but also responding quickly to change. And for 75 years, UCLA has added new memories, forged new traditions. It has grown strong and influential both inside and outside the classroom. Has become a leader in science and the arts, a beacon of innovation and diversity. Learning from the past, confronting the present, challenging the future, and helping to shape the image of the next century for all of us. UCLA.
If you're in high school and you want to play sports at an NCAA Division I or II school, you must be certified by the NCAA Initial Eligibility Clearinghouse. Ask your coach or guidance counselor for one of these student release forms. Fill it out and send it to the clearinghouse. Remember, if you're not certified, you can't compete as a freshman in NCAA Division I or II. For more information, call 319-337-1492.
If you like Tim and Jill, you'll love Tom and Linda and the guys.
The New Bedford game. The one we lost in double overtime. That was the only time I felt you didn't give me everything you had.
Coach, it was 20 years ago.
It's over.
Well, I was open.
We were all open.
It's a new comedy.
These nights have become kind of important to us.
I thought all you did was sit around, drink beer, and moan about that New Bedford game you lost in double overtime.
More than 20 years ago, Linda. It's over.
From the creator of Family Ties, Champs, premiering Tuesday, January 9th.
The luau continues down on the field. We're at halftime. Kansas leading 17-0 over UCLA in the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl. Terry Gannon along with Tim Brandt, and as National Cheerleaders Association, young ladies dancing down on the field. I want to ask you about Terry Donahue. After 20 years as the head coach, his decision to leave, that has to be such an emotional process.
It was emotional. It was very hard for him to make that decision, but it's something that he and I have talked about several times over the years. It's something that he's thought about the last several years, is the fact that the game has changed, the kids have changed, times have changed. It's an opportunity for him to get in a broadcast booth. He's happy about it.
We caught up with him shortly after he made that decision to ask him why he decided to leave UCLA.
I wasn't suffering from burnout, or I wasn't down on coaching. I mean, I think it's the greatest job in the world, probably, and something that I could see myself doing again at some later date and time if I was unhappy in broadcasting or unsuccessful. But I plan to be successful, and I plan to be happy. So I think the thing for me, the reason I got out of coaching at this particular time was simply that this opportunity came at this time. I really kind of envisioned that maybe 5, 6 years, 7 years down the road it would come and I would take it. It came at this time, and my concern was that if I didn't take advantage of it, when the time came for me to retire, what would I do? Where would I go? And would this opportunity or another opportunity like it be available? And the answer was I couldn't be sure.
Well, they say timing is everything in life, and it seems like that had a lot to do with Terry Donahue's decision.
You know, he's going to work with one of my former partners, Jim Nance, and Jim will take care of him. He's good to work with. Obviously, he's one of the best, and I think Terry will do very well.
Well, what a career he has had at UCLA. The accomplishments, he's accomplished more than a lot of men, more Pac-10 wins than any man in history. And here is our tribute to Terry Donahue's years at UCLA.
Here at the university, a dream of mine is coming to an end.
Felt and simple statement. Terry Donahue said goodbye to UCLA. Not an easy decision for a man who, along with his family, spent almost his entire professional life associated with the school. It all started for Terry as a walk-on defensive tackle in 1965. His playing career was highlighted by an upset victory over unbeaten Michigan State in the '66 Rose Bowl, when the UCLA defense denied State a game-tying two-point conversion. One of his former players who followed in Terry's footsteps became an assistant coach with the Bruins and now leads his own team. To many, Rick Neuheisel seemed a natural fit to replace Donahue. He'll remain at Colorado, but will always appreciate the accomplishments of Terry Donahue.
The epitome of the gutty little Bruin, you know, a 100 and 200-pound nose guard that played in the Rose Bowl, that then was a walk-on. Then became the head coach at a young age of, I think, 31.
As an assistant coach at UCLA, first under Pepper Rogers, then Dick Vermeil, a vacancy was created when Vermeil went to the NFL in 1976.
UCLA had 3 head coaches in a period of 6 years. They needed some continuity, And at the time, I was 31 years old, and I convinced J.D. Morgan that he could go out and probably hire a lot of coaches who had more experience and certainly more credentials than I had. But I convinced him that if he hired me, that I could do a good job for him.
And what a job he did. Terry led UCLA to 8 consecutive bowl victories with 3 Rose Bowl wins, including this dramatic victory over Michigan in 1983, Terry's first visit to the Rose Bowl. A winner of 5 Pac-10 championships, Terry Donahue became the all-time leader in Pac-10 wins this year with this victory over USC, his 5th consecutive win over the Trojans.
I'm going to miss having Terry as a coach. I've been now 20 years going down on the sidelines in the second half of games. Terry has brought a strength to the football program at UCLA, which I believe will endure regardless of who the coach is.
Terry had a real passion for the game and a compassion for people. And sometimes you lose that from time to time in coaching, and I think Terry was able to hold on to that. People around Terry Donahue love Terry Donahue.
And that passion he has had for his school and players made the decision to leave UCLA after more than 2 decades extremely difficult.
This has been my adult life for 25 years. And my wife, Andrea, has been with me the whole time, and our children were kind of born into this setting and raised in this setting. And so they really know nothing else. So for them, it was a very difficult and emotional decision, just like it was for me. And even though the vote was 4-1, I had the one most important vote. You know, I had to do what I needed to do.
UCLA will carry on. Terry Donahue and his family will move on, and the contributions he has made will not be forgotten.
He is the UCLA coach, and you've got some great guys that coach there. I mean, you're talking about Red Sanders, you're talking about Tommy Prothro, you're talking about Dick Vermeil, Pepper Rogers, and I'm missing some guys, but the standard's going to be Terry Donahue.
They will replace Terry Donahue. They won't find anybody to do it any better. They might, if they're lucky, find somebody to do it as good. That's what the goal has got to be. I've got to find somebody to do it as good a job as Terry Donahue has done. You won't find anybody doing it better.
Now, Terry Donahue has done it with class throughout the years, and it will be awfully tough to replace him as the head coach of UCLA. Well, the Christmas Gala continues down on the field. The big guy, Santa Claus, has joined the luau, and along with the youngsters, providing some of the music this afternoon at the Chief Eagle Aloha Bowl.
Today's halftime show was produced by NCA Special Events, directed by Kevin Jones, executive producer Leonard Copper, presented by...
Well, the sights and sounds of Christmas in paradise as it is billed right here in Honolulu, Hawaii. We'll come back with more. The luau down on the field and much more. Kansas up 17-0 at the half.
Will I get the lowest price on a collect call dialing 1-800?
Time I visited here, I came with my dad, and as we drove across campus, it was just so gorgeous, and class was getting out, there were people everywhere, and I knew I'd fit in.
So I've had a lot of experience with professors in different departments at KU, and I've
That 43-yarder.
Across the 20 out to the 23 and driven out of bounds just shy of the 23-yard line. Terry Gannon, Tim Brandt, and the third member of our crew, Dean Blevins, who we go to now down on the field for an update on the UCLA situation. Dean?
Well, Terry, the UCLA officials declined to be interviewed on this, but it looks like that the coordinators, of course, as we've mentioned, are up for the job. Gary Barnett, everyone's popular coach out of Northwestern, apparently is the #1 choice. Bill Snyder also in the running. But the latest speculation has that Rick Neuheisel is not out of this picture yet at Colorado. He's turned the job down, but word is they're still trying to buy out his contract at Colorado. And, you know, we saw what Glenn Mason did. A no doesn't always mean no, and a yes doesn't always mean yes.
Well, we found that out early today. There's no question. Abdul-Jabbar straight ahead for a couple of yards. And Tim, you look at how we got to this point in this game, and UCLA came out of the gun really kind of flat in the first half.
Well, they sure did. If you look at these numbers, KU has dominated. Of course, they lead 17-0, but the total plays are almost even. The difference is Kansas has been very effective. As a matter of fact, 157 yards passing, 108 rushing. Pretty balanced and very successful.
No secret as to what UCLA wants to do here early on. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar straight ahead, just shy of a first down. Maurice Gaddy, the free safety, made the stop, and this is what UCLA did with their possessions in the first half.
Terry, all you have to do is look at the right-hand column. They have not been successful. You know, Kansas changed its defense from a 5-2 to a 4-3 last spring. Mike Hankowitz is the reason. He joined the KU staff last fall as defensive coordinator, and he's done a great job. They dominated the first half. First, they took away the run, then they took away the pass, and they've been successful on both sides.
Cheyenne Caldwell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of the eye now for UCLA. Abdul-Jabbar, the ball's loose. And the Jayhawks have it. Maurice Gaddy recovered the fumble, and it was a fumble that traveled about 20 yards.
Kevin Kopp, Brett McGraw, Rogers, they were effective. But I want you to watch 57 now. Here comes 33. This is Abdul-Jabbar. Boom. A low handoff. The ball is below the belt. Then there's the hit. Pops it loose. And it's just a fight for the ball. Turnovers were the big story in the entire season for Kansas. They forced them, and they got them and turned them into points this year. That's why they're 9-2 coming into this game. But the handoff was low, below the belt. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar never got it. And when it was there, and he was trying to get a hold of it, he took a pretty good lick. The ball went flying, and KU has it.
Never had control of the football, and that's the last thing UCLA needed to happen. Now the reverse to Shondae Smith, looking to throw. Decides to run as he passed the line of scrimmage and down to the 32-yard line. We've got flags on the play.
Line of scrimmage really doesn't make a difference here because he didn't throw the ball, although he intended to. I think this flag's going to be a face mask. He did have all intentions of throwing the ball. Once he got across the line of scrimmage, though, he tucked it away, and that's when he got the face mask penalty.
And it will go against the Bruins. Terry Donahue has to be wondering what the heck is going on here. First half, Kansas dominates, leads 17-0. UCLA gets it back in the second half, and they cough it up right away.
I got to tell you something. Kansas has been underrated all year. We were out to do the Kansas-Nebraska game earlier this year, and I'm telling you something. Kansas played with Nebraska the entire first half, lost that game on turnovers. Watch the face mask here. Ducks under once he knows he's across the line of scrimmage. Then here's the reach out and the face mask. Just incidental, not flagrant at all.
Just 5 yards.
Actually, a good play by McCullough, really, because he was up in the air. He just reached out and tried to grab anything.
Now, he wanted to throw the ball the whole way, and then once he got past the line, obviously realized he couldn't, tucked it under and ran. First down at the 36. Williams on the roll. Incomplete and almost picked off. It's really the first pass that we've seen him throw into coverage, and an ill-advised pass. Tommy Bennett was there.
Terry, see the first possession. It started at their own 28. On that drive, Williams was 6 for 6. Then they came out. UCLA made some adjustments. They made a stop. They were loading up to stop the pass. They kind of backed off, and that's when Kansas made an adjustment of their own and started the run, became very effective, broke off a 49-yard run and scored, and it was 14-0 before UCLA knew what hit them.
June Henley with that 49-yard touchdown run. Second and 1. Mark Williams changing the play at the line. Going up top for his receiver near the end zone, incomplete. Paul Guidry was there step for step. Ryan Foy, the intended receiver. Guidry may have sprained an ankle on that play. He came up hobbling a little bit.
Well, I tell you what, he started every game this year, Guidry did, except for the Cal game. He had a shoulder injury in that one. He's a good cover guy. Used his body well that time, used the sideline. Glenn Mason thought there was a little bit of bumping and grinding going on, but it was legal.
Not a bad call either. You got 2nd and 1. You try to go for the end zone. Now you come back, have confidence in your line that they can get you the first down on 3rd and 1.
Call that a waste down, where you can take that shot and then come back and get the first.
Williams on the roll. Got a first down inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. You give him that option to pitch it or run. Runs the option well, and this is a guy who, we talked about it at the top of the game, UCLA very concerned about Mark Williams not only passing the ball, but his mobility.
He's the 3rd leading rusher on the team. That's the first time that we've seen the option all afternoon. They worked it effectively. They've really mixed and matched everything they've had today, and it's kept that guy in his UCLA Bruins, Terry Donahue, really off balance a little bit. The defense is playing on its heels.
Jayhawks soaking up some sun here. Henley bounces and wrapped up at the 18-yard line. Needs to get to the 14 for a first down. Tommy Bennett made the stop. Again, he was questionable as the day began because of an ankle.
Boy, if you are a Jayhawk fan, this is fun to watch. I mean, they run the option, they run the pass, they come back with the draw. They're mixing everything in there. Right now, UCLA can't afford to be aggressive because they don't know which way it's going to go. There's nothing to key on. If you're a UCLA fan, you're wondering what the heck is happening.
Yeah, most coaches talk about establishing the run to set up the pass. Kansas has done the opposite. LT Levine, a big hole inside the 10, down to the 5, and inside the 5. Not only had a hole to run through, but this is a strong back. 5'10", 210 pounds, a senior out of Colonia, New Jersey.
I'll tell you something, if Henley is the slasher, then Levine is the power guy. He's only 5'10", but he's 210 pounds. He's strong. I first saw him as a freshman right here in Hawaii. Carried the ball 6 times for 26 yards in the Aloha Bowl. They beat BYU, but he's had a tremendous season. Came into this game with 862 yards, over 2,000 for his career.
Another reason for Glenn Mason to like him, they hail from the same hometown. Gain of 14 on that play. 1st and goal, Henley looking for room. Slips inside, may have gained 1 down to the 3.
This reminds me a little bit of the old Pony Express. Remember at SMU? Had Eric Dickerson and our guy, Craig James.
Now Terry Donahue making that decision. We heard at halftime it was a 4-1 vote in his family, and 4 against, 1 for. There's his family, and he had the deciding vote, though, I guess, Tim.
Here's his wife. Here's his daughter. Merry Christmas to the Donahue family.
Yes, happy holidays and our best. Even though they were outvoted. Straight ahead to the end zone. And Kansas pours more on the board. Boy, they have been impressive. June Henley, another touchdown run, this time only from 3 yards out.
Don't let this leak out, but Terry Donahue's wife is a KU grad.
Glenn Mason at the banquet the other night said they were talking, and she said she was going to root for KU, and there was a loud moan from the UCLA side and from the Donahue family.
Watch this offensive line fire out again, and watch what they do to this defense. Go ahead and snap it. Here comes Williams. Goes to his horse. Boom, they're knocking guys out of there. Just spinning them. Stretch 77 was spun.
Well, the extra point, no good. Way wide to the left. So the only thing that's gone wrong for Kansas all afternoon. They started out well, and they're continuing here in the second half. 23-0 over the Bruins.
A lot of records were broken in 1995, and we have until December 31st to break another during our Jeep and Eagle year-end celebration with a great lease rate of just $349 a month on a new Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Or lease an Eagle Vision ESI for $269 a month. Even get up to $1,336 in option values on Jeep Cherokees 4. Help us set another record in 1995. Hurry in to the Jeep and Eagle year-end celebration.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Natural ability only takes you so far. The right equipment counts for a lot. That's why I like Pert Plus. It gets the job done right. Cleans and conditions in one step. No fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. Winners just find a better way to get there.
Dependability is why Interstate's the #1 replacement battery. We sell them in virtually every county in America at 200,000 businesses, just like this. This one. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT for the Interstate dealer nearest you.
Oh, isn't that cute? What? You guys are like the three bears. You're Double Whopper, Whopper, Whopper Jr., Bing Bang Boom.
I'm hungry, so what?
Well, nothing just sort of struck me as funny.
So what are you saying? I'm like the mama bear?
A Whopper value meal for any size appetite, starting at $1.99 every day at Burger King. That's getting your burger's worth.
Hey, baby bear, you gonna finish those fries?
Yes. Ooh, somebody needs a nap.
It's a special present, our last Monday night show. The Cowboys meet the Cardinals. Ho, ho, ho!
Where do you go after you've had a busy night? Take a day off. Come on to Aloha Stadium. Kansas, a lot of smiles on their faces. 23-0 in Tim. I'm a bit shocked at this point.
Well, I'm really surprised. Kansas has dominated. And as talented as Kansas is, I thought UCLA would be awfully strong and wear them down eventually.
Out of the end zone, the kickoff by McCord, and UCLA starts at their own 20. Tomorrow night on ABC, a special New Year's episode of NYPD Blue at 10/9 Central Time. Jimmy Smits and Dennis Rand star tomorrow night here on ABC.
UCLA leads the series with Kansas 4-1 over the 5 previous times they played. But I mean, in this game, they have yet to get it going. Bob Toledo now has to get his offense in gear somehow. They've got to have some success. Cade McNown's not having a good ball game. And although Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's running well, he's really the only offense they've had.
They run this time with Akil Davis, who bounces to the outside and has a UCLA first down. Akil Davis, who saw more action, of course, with the injury to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was injured in the Washington game and sat out the USC game. James Milner started, but they used Derek Ayers and Akil Davis as well.
Boy, fresh legs that time. Akil Davis, just a freshman, 5'9", 175 pounds, came in with those fresh legs, showed some quick feet, broke a couple tackles, hit the corner, and got the first.
So a little bit of life on the sideline right now for UCLA, trying to get something going.
Bruins need that, Terry. They need to get some life right now.
McElroy split to the far side. Kevin Jordan to the near side. McNown with a lot of time, and this one's batted down. Second or third time we've seen that this afternoon. We talked about the tall defensive linemen of Kansas. Not real big in terms of weight, but some wingspan, and they get up in the air.
Yeah, there's no question about that. They're light, but they are very tall. They're strong and they're quick, and they really do cause problems for quarterbacks. But McNown is struggling. There's no question about it. He hasn't found his rhythm. His confidence is not there right now. He's only 5 of 17, 44 yards. Really, he's got to have some success. And, you know, he's a freshman, a true freshman. Those guys ride that roller coaster of emotion. They need that success to build the confidence back up.
2nd and 10 for the Bruins. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with a lot of room. A first down and up to the 44, maybe the 45-yard line. So they keep it on the ground with Akil Davis to get a first down, and now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Bruin a little bit happier on the sideline.
I'll tell you right now, if UCLA can take this drive and get down into the end zone or at least get a field goal out of this thing, this will become a ball game. I guarantee it.
And you mentioned McNown and freshmen going through struggles. He's done that this year. He had a game in which he was 3 out of 18. He knows the Arizona game and came back at 18 out of 22 for over 300 yards against Fresno State. Yeah, you go through that learning process. Play action this time. Going long. And incomplete. McElroy, the intended receiver, he came back on the ball and actually, if he kept running, he may have gotten there.
Yeah, but the ball was underthrown. He tried to adjust on the ball and couldn't do it. The ball was poorly thrown, to be honest. Good coverage on both corners by Brew and Harris. They had their guys. I mean, Jordan on one side, McElroy on the other, just running a fly pattern. But good coverage and a poor throw.
6 straight incompletions for Cade McNown.
Right now, I'd stay with the dink and dunk stuff. I'd keep the running game going and maybe just throw in a little wrinkle, a little trick play, just to put him a little, you know, give him a little goose.
Well, that certainly is not a high percentage pass. I mean, you're going for it all. Flags on the play as the whistle is blown. There have been some movement.
There was definite movement. It's going to be called on Mike Rome, the right tackle. Started to sit back on his heels and move too early.
Before the snap, 12 start on the offense.
The only time those linemen hear their names called, huh? They throw that yellow flag.
It's one of those things when you're 300 pounds or more, you know, you're trying to get that little head start, and he started to rock back, dropped his butt a little bit, and his feet started to move, and once that weight starts to shift, it's hard to stop.
And it's hard to hide when you're 300 plus. 2nd and 15, Abdul-Jabbar straight through the middle. Has a UCLA first down inside the 30. Well, who cares about the penalty? Just give it to Kareem. To the 23-yard line, a gain of 37. Patrick Brown, the freshman out of Columbus, Ohio, finally ran him down, Tim.
Only player in UCLA history to rush for 200-plus yards in 3 straight games. He's got 7 straight games of 100-plus. He's about to make that 8 right now, but watch who he follows. Big old number 79, Jonathan Ogden. Ogden gets out, just gets a little extension on the block. That's all he needed to get through. Look at this. Boom. He'll do the rest himself. He gets into the secondary, gets a block from Jordan, cuts to the outside, and gets the first.
17 carries, 134 yards, and now Akil Davis down inside the 15. Maurice Gaddy made the tackle, but UCLA moving the football in a drive that was very much needed at this point.
I really felt this drive was critical. If they don't score here, UCLA's in a world of trouble. If they score here, they're back in the ball game. What they have to do now is score, be efficient, protect the ball, get the big old linemen off the field, get them cooled down, get them some ice. Then the defense has to make a stop and get UCLA back on again.
7th play of the drive. 2nd and 2. They need to get to the 13-yard line for a first down. McElroy in motion. They throw it out. Here it comes. He's looking to throw. Still on his feet to the outside. Inside the 5 and knocked out at the 3. Not the way it was drawn up, but a first down for UCLA.
Now they scored on this play during the regular season. Looks like a flanker screen. Watch this. All right, here comes Cade McNown. 2-step drop. Boom, get it out there now. Now he's going to throw downfield to the backside. He's looking for Jordan. Jordan's not there. He's got to pull it away. Makes a great play out of this with a cut and gets a block again by Ogden and gets down inside the 5. Now they also have another play that's very similar to this where they'll throw it out to the wide receiver and they'll throw it back to the quarterback, Cade McNown.
First and goal just inside the 3, maybe at the 2. Reeve, the tight end in motion. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar straight ahead. Down to the 1. And that'll bring up 2nd and goal right about the 1-yard line.
Here, I'd get him back in the huddle. I'd look the lineman in the face. I'd say, we're going tackle to tackle. We're bringing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar right up off your butt. You better drive him into the end zone because we need a touchdown badly. Bob Toledo's done a nice job on this drive.
Just sent Craig Walendi in at fullback for Cheyenne Caldwell. So he and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the I formation. Mike Grieve, the tight end, in the slot. There he goes in motion again. Abdul-Jabbar hit at the line of scrimmage and loses a yard or 2. Brett McGraw was there first.
Boy, I'm going to tell you something. That's a big-time play by the defense. Michael Allen, 43, got there. 17, Brew gets there. The safety gets there. Look at the penetration the blue jerseys get. Boom, there's 43 right there. Michael Allen, who comes up from the free safety spot to make the tackle. That is a huge defensive play. UCLA did what we thought they'd do. Go tackle to tackle and try to be very, very authoritative with it to set the tempo.
Now you're back outside the 3-yard line. Things changed just a bit.
Kansas won the battle in the tackles.
And flags on the play. Seen a number of those in the second half. Only 1 in the entire first half.
Oh, that's a killer. UCLA drove this ball all the way down the field. They may end up with just a field goal out of this. You definitely got to pass here, or at least make it look like a pass to set up a draw situation for Abdul-Jabbar.
And first and goal just outside the 2. You get down to the 1, and now you push back outside the 8-yard line.
See, that'll drive a coach nuts. You've got first and goal inside the 2, and now you've got 3rd down at the 9.
Drive a coach into the broadcasting booth.
You call the plays better from up here.
3rd and goal from outside the 8. Abdul-Jabbar in motion. Over the middle, the Melby, a touchdown UCLA. Well, they just needed more room to operate.
Well, there's another true freshman. You think he hasn't come on? In the last 6 games, Melsby has averaged 20 yards per catch, 7 receptions. This is his 8th reception. He gets his first touchdown. Boom, 3-step drop, hits a slant, tough to defend. He's got the inside leverage. Defender can't get there unless there's pass interference. He's got to lay off. Nice throw, excellent execution. Melsby comes up big.
Bjorn Merton on for the extra point. He missed a 37-yard field goal earlier in the game. 34 of 35 on the year. Splits the uprights. And UCLA with a little bit of momentum now.
Yeah, the Bruins are back in it.
23-7 Kansas, and a little more excitement on the sideline for the Bruins.
Waves are crashing, 8 days of sun, 7 hula dancers, 6 busy linemen, 5 TD runs, 4 punt returns, 3 QB sacks, 2 new coaches, and a win at the Aloha Bowl. What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
I got to hand it to the Bruins. I think that's the best greeting yet.
Yeah, there's no question about it.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leading the way, second from left on that picture.
Yeah, you had Kareem in there, you had Jordan in there. That's a good-looking group. They can sing.
Shunday Smith just brought it back out to the 20-yard line. You see the wet towels on the sideline, but more life on the sideline for UCLA. And Terry Donahue, Tom Toledo, getting it going here in the second half. A long drive and the 8-yard touchdown pass to Melsby.
UCLA big, strong linemen trying to cool down. Over near the fans, they've got ice on their backs and necks and heads. Terry Donahue and Bob Toledo talking about what's happening offensively. Got a long way to go, but they're slowly climbing back into it.
LT Levine over the right side, gain of maybe 3 yards on first down for Kansas, who will now try to establish part of their running game once again. So dominant with the passing game early on in the contest, and then went back to the running game. It's a warm afternoon on this AstroTurf. As we started the day, it was 81 degrees in local time. That was, what, 10:30 or so.
To this point, Kansas has been nearly flawless offensively. Look at the difference.
Williams on the roll. Going deep to Bird. Through his hands. Step for step. Sean Williams on the coverage. Along with Teddy Lawrence.
I want to tell you, that was great coverage. They got twin receivers out here, but watch number 1. All right, there's Lawrence knocks him. All right, now they got the safety to pick him up. But Bird's going to stumble a little bit. He looks back. Now here comes Williams, 32 over. He's got excellent coverage and almost makes the pick. Boy, that's as good as it goes. Here's Lawrence, boom, get the little chug. Let him go now. Release him to the safety. Now, Bird thinks he's open, but here comes Williams, who's got the ball locked on all the way. Never took his eyes off, and like an offensive receiver, went straight to the ball. Good D that time.
Covering a man who had more than 40 catches this year, Bird and Shunday Smith. First time that's ever happened in Kansas history. Going deep again for Isaac Bird, and has him. Touchdown, Kansas. They go right back to Isaac Bird. 77-yard pass from Williams to Bird. They didn't get it the first time. They go right back at it.
Boy, I will tell you this. The Bird can fly. Here's a guy, tough body, soft hands, and watch his feet. This time he's locked on man coverage with Lawrence. Remember last time Lawrence let him go? Lawrence has him man for man this time. He just outruns him. Gets even. He says, if I'm even, I'm leaving. Boy, and then there Lawrence just starts to stumble. Boy, Williams knows he's got a strike. He threw it well. Let Bird get out there. He had man coverage this time. There was no letting him go and have the safety pick him up. It was man lock on all the way.
The extra point from McCord up and good this time. So whatever momentum UCLA had, the Jayhawks just stole right back. 77-yard pass to Isaac Bird, and it is 30-7 Jayhawks. And in terms of the Aloha Bowl, it's a record as well. Longest touchdown pass in Aloha Bowl history. 77 yards from Williams to Bird, and Tim just took the air right out of the sideline of UCLA. I mean, they had some kind of juice going a little bit, some momentum, and just turned it around.
Really did. Bird, the leading receiver, showed a great deal of speed there. What an athlete he is. He's also on the Jayhawks baseball team. Batted .321, center fielder. Great speed.
Melsby with his shorter kickoff this time, out to the 23-yard line.
But you're right, that takes the wind right out of UCLA trying to climb back into this thing. Had a good drive and scored and cut the lead, and then Kansas comes right back with that touchdown.
All right, about Toledo and Terry Donahue, what do you tell Cade McNown at this point? He struggled all afternoon, and during the last drive, they gave it to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They used Akil Davis, kept it on the ground for the most part until a touchdown pass. Now you might have to put the ball in the air a little bit more.
Well, McNown's still learning. You know, he's trying to force some things. I think Bobby Toledo probably just told him to go out and have some fun, relax a little bit. Let's throw this thing around. Let's get this thing going.
The inside give to Abdul-Jabbar. Gains maybe 2 over the left side up to the 25-yard line. 30-7, Kansas rolling, and this is very unusual for the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl, Tim.
Really unusual. Every game I've done over at the Aloha Bowl has been very, very close. Look at this. 8 of the 13 games have been decided by 7 points or less. The other games have been high-scoring affairs that just went back and forth, and though they were more than 7 points, you know, it was exciting all the way through. Kansas has dominated here this afternoon.
Now Cade McNown trying to turn it around. He's 6 out of 19 on the day. Running, no more. Down at the 24. Chris Jones from the backside, and he got a little help. And it's not been an enjoyable afternoon for Cade McNown from that standpoint either. He's been under pressure most of the afternoon. Now, Thad Warren, strong safety. Today is his 22nd birthday. A number of players have had birthdays actually in the last few days.
Yeah, Kansas has had 3 in the last week and a half.
3rd and 9, McNown to throw. Through the hands of Derek Ayers, and he paid for it.
I'm going to tell you something. Right now, Kansas is making a statement. Maurice Gaddy, number 24, had an opportunity to take a shot. He did it. So every time the receivers are coming across that middle now, they're going to have their head on the swivel looking for a blue jersey coming to hit them. It'll break their concentration.
Busy afternoon for Chris Saylor as well. Back deep. Shunday Smith at his own 35-yard line. No pressure this time, and a great punt from Saylor. Drives Smith back to his own 20. But room along the near. And a lot of blockers ahead of him. One man in front of him, not any longer. Shunday Smith with a return for a touchdown, 76 yards.
Do you believe it? There's a flag back at the 35.
The flag came in late back at the 34-yard line.
We may get an illegal block in the back. I'm surprised there's not another flag thrown in the end zone for unsportsmanlike celebration. Boy, what a return, and what a convoy he had in front of him.
All the way down to the 25-yard line. He had 4 blue shirts.
Here's another flag now thrown. Another flag goes down. It could be celebration. Here's the illegal block in the back. That's the one that happened at the 35. Then there's going to be the penalty against UCLA at the other side, but I'm not sure what that's for.
Obviously can't be the celebration.
No.
And I am a bit surprised, like you are, that And that's as much celebrating as you're ever going to see.
That was a late flag. Here it is right here.
Not enough men on the line of scrimmage against the offense. That penalty's refused. Illegal block in the back against the receiver. Will go 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
All right, so the motion was against UCLA before the snap, or when it once occurred. All right, now here comes the return. Now watch this move. First of all, Smith, with great speed, gets out. Now the wall is set. Okay, here comes the wall. Now stop it right here. All blue jerseys sealing off, and he's already outrun him. Now go ahead and run it. Let's see if we can pick up the block in the back. It's going to happen. Stop it right here. Now keep an eye on that right there and see if you get the block in the back. Boom, there's the push. Okay, that nullifies this return, but what a great return by Smith, who uses his blockers, biding his time, reading, and then finally explodes for the touchdown that's called back.
And I'm not sure he even needed that push in the back. Looked like at that point he had some room ahead of him.
Kansas still has first down, though, in UCLA territory.
So they mark it from the spot of the foul. And here's Mark Williams, thrown deep over the middle for his tight end Moore. Incomplete. And New Year's Eve on ABC Sports, 11 months of competition among 32 top players from around the world culminates with the final match of the Anderson Consulting World Championship of Golf. That's live Sunday at 2 Eastern here on ABC Sports.
Boy, I thought Kansas would start to melt the clock, but they're still throwing the ball. Jayhawks have played awfully well.
And the 77-yard touchdown pass after they threw deep on the previous play. Didn't get the completion.
Should be delay a game.
Dead ball, delay a game against the offense.
Now Glen Mason led this team to its first 9-win season since 1968. The Big 8 standings at the end of the year. 5-2. The Jayhawks came in, tied for second.
Yeah, Kansas State spanked them pretty good. And then the Nebraska game, too. Nebraska beat up on them score-wise, but Kansas played a pretty good ball game that afternoon.
Especially in the first half defensively, and of course that all changes. Last year,
what a conference that's going to be with the Big 12.
Yeah, last year the Big 8. This year the Big 12 starting at next year, divided into the North and the South. This is of course in the North. Williams pointing to his blockers, now out of bounds and close to a Kansas first down. Needed to get to the 34-yard line.
Interesting, isn't it, Terry, how they've gone to the super conferences. SEC was first to go to the big conference, split it in two, and have the championship game, which is financially very rewarding. And then, of course, now with the be special, it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, if Glen Mason left and went to Georgia, he would face that, or if he stays at Kansas, he's going to face it. And right now, I guess the latest is that he's going to stay. If you did not catch the beginning of our telecast, Glen Mason, who had accepted the head coaching position at the University of Georgia before the game today, informed his team that he was staying. And obviously they were shocked, as were all of us.
Well, I'm happy.
Staying. And obviously they were shocked, as were all of us.
Well, I'm happy for Glen Mason if he's made the decision that he can live with, that he's happy with. But it puts Georgia certainly in limbo. It's got to hurt their recruiting. The Bulldogs have a tremendous amount of talent coming back next year when they get healthy again.
Kansas much better today on third down conversion. Straight ahead for a first down here. Now, we wondered at the beginning of the game if Kansas, with the undersized defensive line, and what was it, 29 degrees in Lawrence at the start of our game here, if they would wear down in the heat, the AstroTurf, the humidity. Boy, no such sign of that.
It looked to me as if it was UCLA that wore down. I mean, they got the heavy legs and the jaws hanging. They weren't bouncing around.
LT Levine looking outside. upended inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. Glenn Tompkins was there to take out his legs. You know, defensively, we mentioned earlier Donnie Edwards, the year that he has had, maybe a bit of a disappointment for him. Last year had a terrific year. Injuries this year, you watch him pursue.
Yeah, you had the vertebrae problem, which kept him out of a handful of games. Had that sore neck when he came back. He really wasn't confident in it yet. He's still wearing the neck brace. See what he has there on his collar. And then he comes back. But there's a guy that was outside linebacker in the 3-4 most of his career. They move him inside. He's had a great practice week. Preseason All-American, but so tough to come back from a neck injury when he had those fractured vertebrae.
Great story, too. One of 9 kids, tough neighborhood in San Diego. Already has his degree, and here's a touchdown for Kansas. Andre Carter.
What a perfect throw by Williams. Talk about putting air under a ball by leading the guy to the corner, working on the corner. Colbert, Carter had him beaten, and the ball was perfectly thrown. Boy, what a day for Williams. 16 of 25, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
Had 11 straight in the first half at one point.
He's made a lot of those plays on his own, too, with his mobility and escapability, buying time and setting up the receivers.
McCord on again for the extra point. And he adds another one. 37-7, the Jayhawks dominating here in the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl.
All our families back home. My family in the Washington, D.C. area. Merry Christmas.
Well, I wasn't there for Christmas Eve, my mother and father, all the family, but I will be tomorrow morning. We'll celebrate. And the Bruin cooling off on the sideline about that time. Not the way that man planned his last game for UCLA.
You know, it's going to leave a bitter taste in his mouth. Terry Donahue is a very competitive guy, very successful guy. He's participated in every bowl win UCLA has ever had as a player, assistant, and head coach. He's not going to like to end his career like this.
Eric Scott down to one knee. They'll bring it out to the 20, and we bring it down to the field to check in with Dean Blevins. Dean?
Guys, you mentioned the heat a minute ago. Our friend here was getting a pop of that cold stuff. It has affected McElroy. He was taken off for UCLA, the wide receiver, a moment ago. Also, Donnie Edwards had some problems at halftime, so it's affecting both of these clubs. Again, it's 100 degrees down here on the field.
Well, Dean, the interesting thing is most people think of UCLA out in L.A., the warm weather, but, you know, the AstroTurf makes such a big difference, and that's something the Bruins aren't used to.
Yeah, I mean, they don't play on it. Kansas in the Big 8, soon to be Big 12, plays on it routinely, and it literally is about a 20, 25 degree, it moves it north a little bit.
Mm-hmm. First and 10 for the Bruins. McNown and batted down at the line of scrimmage. What's that, the 4th time, Tim, we've seen that?
You know, we made the point early on that this team is light defensively weight-wise, but it's a very tall defensive line. I mean, you're talking Houston 6'4", McGraw is 6'2", Kopp is 6'5". I mean, these guys are huge across here, and they got great wingspans, and it makes it difficult for quarterbacks to throw over.
Kevin Kopp got a hand on that pass, and now Cade McNown 6 for 21.
I mean, here's Kopp. He's not a big guy. He's lanky. He was an outside linebacker. This is his first year been inside. Back up the last 2 years, but boy, he's earned a starting job, and he's played well.
2nd and 10, 3 receivers set. The lone back is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Here he goes. A first down up to the 32-yard line. And that is the one bright spot today for UCLA. Remember, later on, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Cowboys and the Cardinals, home field advantage at stake for the Cowboys tonight. That's at 9 Eastern time, 6 Pacific. And everything to play for now for the Cowboys, where they thought maybe there was nothing there, they'd rest some people.
Yeah, with the 49ers loss, of course, the Cowboys now playing for that home field, and this will be huge. Got to play the guys that are even injured.
Diane Caldwell in along with Abdul-Jabbar. McNown
Gain of about 7. Up to the 37-yard line. Timmy's had some of those today as well, but, you know, they've really limited his running. His run. That's one of the things that makes him tough, his ability to tuck it under and run.
You know, they did more than that. They not only took away his running, Terry, but they took away his short receivers, the ones that they thought were high percentage receivers. And they said, hey, if you're going to beat us, you're going to throw deep. Well, we've just got man coverage one-on-one. He has not thrown well deep today.
And even with his progress throughout the year, you know, at this point, still a freshman, and Terry Donahue, I think, more comfortable with Cade McNown throwing that high percentage pass. Abdul-Jabbar with a run back into the line. A little extracurricular on the far side of the field for a moment.
Boy, Abdul-Jabbar's had a tremendous day. 21 carries, 145 yards, and he did fumble that one time, but that wasn't all his fault. It was a poor handoff, actually low. That is his 8th straight game over 100 yards.
Yeah, fat chance. No snow heading this way. No cold, no wind, no snow. Here's sunny Honolulu. Quick drop over the middle, complete up to the 45-yard line, and a first down for UCLA. That's Brad Melsby, who caught the 8-yard touchdown pass moments ago.
That'll move the chains, keep UCLA's drive alive, but of course they're fighting the clock now. The clock is the opponent of UCLA, not Kansas defense.
Kevin Jordan and Melsby come out with 1:17 left to go. Melsby's had a heck of a second half of the year. Freshman out of Los Alamitos, and a good day today. 2 receivers to the far side, and here comes Derek Ayers in motion. And he has the football down to the 37-yard line. Another first down for UCLA. Jason Harris was there on the stop, so they send Ayers in motion and throw back across the field to him.
Those are the plays that McNown throws best. They're high percentage. They utilize his ability to use that arm and just boom, his rhythm drop, 1, 2, 3, throw. He's been hitting the slant. It's tough to defend against because the receiver has the inside leverage. And once again, it moves the chains.
So 50 seconds and counting left here in the third. Play action for McNown. And once again, it looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
You know, as much as McNown has struggled today, he still reminds me of Mark Brunell, the former Washington quarterback. Plays like him. He's got that strong arm. And just
strong kid, too.
Yes,
he is. You see him in shorts and a T-shirt. He's 6'1", 206 pounds. He may be more than 206 at this point.
He's got a quick release. I mean, he threw for 1,171 yards in high school, and he ran for 600 yards. Cleared 15 feet as a pole vaulter in high school. I mean, he's got the tools. He's just going through the learning process.
McNown again off the play fake and incomplete. And McNown, well, he didn't see the end of that play. Chris Jones was there and sent him right on his back. Eric Scott, the intended receiver. And the coverage by Jason Harris.
Coming into this 7 Kansas, that surprises me.
I was just going to say, Tim, coming into this game, statistically, these teams were so even. What they average rushing, you know, passing, defensively, what they did throughout the year, and it's 37-7.
It's amazing to me. It's the difference of one team preparing in a situation where it's tough to prepare. I mean, it's paradise over here. It's tough to concentrate on football. Kansas did, UCLA didn't.
McNown with the scramble again. To the 24 and wrapped up there. He's got another Bruin first down. So on this drive, UCLA able to move the chains a number of times. And you never know.
You know, even in adverse situations like this with UCLA getting spanked, you know, the stars are still stars. I mean, you watch Jonathan Ogden. The guy is a big-time player. He continues to play hard. He's going to be a great pro. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, his 8th straight 100-yard game. I mean, the stars still play.
Play action on the roll, McNown. Looking, now running. To the 17. Has to get to about the 14-yard line for the first down. As time runs out here on the third quarter of play in the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl, Kansas
With things well in hand at this point, we're back with more between the Jayhawks and the Bruins after this.
Punt returns. On the 11th day of Christmas, my Santa brought to me 11 Jayhawks surfing, 10 TD catches, 9 waves of crashing, 8 days of sun, 7 hula dancers, 6 blitzing linemen, 5 TD runs, 4 punt returns, 3 QB sacks, 2 new coaches, and a win at the Aloha Bowl.
Well, they're accurate at almost everything, except for the 2 new coaches, with Glenn Mason saying he's going to stay at Kansas.
Yeah, but they came back strong. UCLA with a strong showing on the previous day, and now Kansas answering. 2nd and 4 for the Bruins. McNown still up, and now down to the 7th. The play fake is what sprung him free to the outside.
Looked like it was going to be a little shuffle pass inside. Defense read it that way, and McNown was free outside. Watch this thing. It'll move.
It will, huh?
Yeah, but they're trying to get the bell going. See, he tried to hit the bell. Look, there it goes. It's going to move. You know, he's had a tough night.
Yeah.
He's worn out. I wonder whose hand that is.
That was a nice thought. So 1st and goal for the Bruins.
Here's the end right here.
Just about the 7-yard line.
Get the overtake, the guard. Get on
Cade
that
McNown
with
8 rushes on the afternoon and 53 yards after that the last journey. Ellsby in motion. Abdul-Jabbar racked at the line of scrimmage. He may have lost one.
I'm going to tell you something. Keith Rogers has played a tremendous game. Number 16, Rogers, he's a captain, outside linebacker. He's so versatile. He's played defensive back. He was a high school quarterback. They've moved him around. He came off the corner this time and delivered a lick. It was a picture-perfect form tackle. Just watch 16 now. Here comes Jabbar, Abdul-Jabbar. Now here's 16. Boom! Just takes him and pancakes him. That is a dominating tackle. He's a talented guy, Rogers. He's a poet. He writes poetry and works for Hallmark cards.
Yeah, the last 4 years he's written those.
Well, he just gave Abdul-Jabbar a pretty good greeting.
Todd McBride, the intended receiver at the goal line, through his hands. For a moment, like Derek Ayers had a chance then to pick it up. Jamie Harris, along with Jason Harris, on the coverage.
You know, Terry, you worry about these guys and their future. You always do for any college kid, not just athletes. You wonder, are they preparing for the future? Here's a guy, Keith Rogers. We talked about him being a poet. The last 3 summers, he's worked at Hallmark cards. I mean, that's a guy that's laying the foundation for the future. He's taking the talent that he knows he has, and he's utilizing it. He's putting in time that, you know, after graduation, he's going to be able to work.
14th play of the drive. McNown on the roll. And incomplete, corner of the end zone. McBride was there. Dorian Brew may have gotten a hand on it before it got to McBride. Been one of those days for Cade McNown.
Tell you what, that brings up 4th down. You got to go for it. Watch this. Here again, it's good defense. This ball's almost picked off. McNown's looking that way and telegraphing it all the way. So the DB says, all right, you telegraph it, I'm going to step in front and make the read and take the pick. Harris almost had it. Or Brew, rather, correction.
Brew broke up 18 passes throughout the year. That's a Kansas record, and that was another one there. So they go for it on 4th and goal from the 8.
Oh, you got to go for it here.
Out of the shotgun, McNown. Goes to the end zone. Touchdown. Kevin Jordan. 3rd touchdown catch of the season. And McNown had all the time in the world to throw.
Yeah, and Brew got there late. Number 17, Brew, comes over late. Watch this now. We'll give you a wide shot. All right, now the play's going in this corner over here. Now, all the time in the world out of the shotgun. Go ahead and roll it. Here's your quarterback. Now watch. He looks over the middle, looks to the left. Now he comes back. He's looking into the end zone. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Brew comes over late. There's your guy, Kevin Jordan. He's got 44 catches on the year. How good is he? Well, you've had some great receivers at UCLA. You've had JoJo Townsell. You've had Mike Sherrod. You've had Sean LaChapelle, Flipper Anderson. This guy, Jordan, has passed them all in the record book. He's a talent.
Burton on for the extra point, and it is good. Kevin Jordan, not quite the year he had last year. 73 catches a year ago, a UCLA record. But he's got UCLA on the board again, and Glenn Mason saying, hey, this one's not over yet. We've still got some time here at Aloha Stadium. But they lead 37-14.
Introducing a new luxury vehicle with the most powerful V8 in its class, the safety of dual airbags, and the ability to take you where no luxury car can. The new Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. With over 40 major advancements, it's truly the perfect luxury vehicle for whatever nature unveils. Jeep, there's only one.
Greg Lambert isn't too worried about how to invest for Zach's college education. That's because he works with a broker from Dean Witter. Together, they developed a long-term investment plan to help take Zach wherever he wants to go.
Clients feel most comfortable with our ability to see things.
Job entertaining the teams and educating them as well and doing a lot of things like Pearl Harbor.
Little pooch kick. UCLA almost had it. It appears that the Jayhawks at least had possession momentarily. We'll see if they kept it.
I think Jordan, after they lost possession, got it back. Jordan's at least has a piece of it. It is UCLA ball, and Jordan comes up with it, number 4.
UCLA had the initial shot at it, and then Kansas had possession. Somehow, Jordan got it back. Glenn Mason, before we went to break, you saw him going to the sideline and telling his players, this is not over, trying to pump them up. And a lot of time left in this game.
No question about it. You get a momentum swing, you get that adrenaline flow, and a team gets fresh legs. You know, this is a game that Kansas really thought they had in the bucket, that this one was over. 13:44 to go in the game. You're up 37-14. Hey, you're down 23. Now you get the onside kickback. You score here, and it's a ball game with plenty of time left and all your timeouts. I mean, this is going to be interesting.
UCLA just went 15 plays, 80 yards in 4.5 minutes for the touchdown. You've got 13:43 left in the game. And great field position inside the 30-yard line. McNown the give to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Leaps over a tackler down to the 27-yard line. Dick Holt, the outside linebacker, along with Brett McGraw, made the stop there.
Good block by Chad Sauter. You know, they're starting to use a lot more offensive linemen, get some fresh legs in there on that offensive line, but they've got to hurry up now. The clock is a factor. 13:21 to go. Can't spend time in the huddle.
Out of the eye, now the play fake. McNown looking. Still up. Down to the 13-yard line. Right up the middle, obviously a UCLA first down and inside the 15.
I'm going to tell you something, partner. They get a quick score here, and it's more than just wishful thinking. Again, you get the pull and tackle, you get the guard, they come over. Now watch, he's got time. Now he feels his pressure coming from the outside and breaking down. This scramble has been their most successful play outside of Abdul-Jabbar. Jamie Harris finally makes the tackle, but again, McNown picks up the first down, and they're inside the 15.
Good coverage again by the secondaries for Kansas, but McNown makes them pay. Out to Melsby.
Get out of bounds. There you go.
Inside the 6, almost to the 5-yard line.
See, they've got to act like they've got 2 minutes left. This is the hurry-up offense. They've got to do that the rest of the game and forget that there's 13 minutes left, because for them, they're down a ton, 37-14. The clock is their opponent, not Kansas.
Terry Donahue in his last game at the helm for UCLA. Counting on this young man, only a freshman. Today, 67 yards on the ground, maybe his most impressive
aspect of his game today. Has not had a good day throwing the football.
Coming in, you know he's a great athlete, but what showed me something today is his character. He had a horrendous first half, but he's coming back. He hadn't quit.
Jordan in motion, back to the near side. And almost picked off. Guess who? Keith Rogers all day long has been there.
That's 7 deflections. 7 deflections. You know, we made the point early in the ball game that this is something Kansas does because of their height advantage. This time it's not even a height advantage. This time it's knocked down by Rogers, who's only 5'11". But McNown telegraphed it. All right, now here it comes. Here's Jordan. I want you to watch what happens to him. We isolate him. He goes into the end zone. There is not a soul there. There's a breakdown in coverage. So if the ball's not deflected, it's a touchdown for the Bruins.
And you know what? We talk about the linemen getting fatigued and getting tired. You wonder if the arm of Cade McNown, you drop the arm a little bit, being deflected. The heat has been a factor all day long. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar looking for the end zone,
Touchdown.
and he gets there.
Ball game.
The quick hit by UCLA. And that's a word man right now.
All right, so Kansas gets away with one the play before because they have a breakdown in coverage. Rogers saves them by the deflection with a man wide open. They come right back with their stud. Here comes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now watch this last yard. That's all I want you to watch. Here's the last yard. Boom! Right at the goal line. Stretches in. Touchdown. We've got a ball game.
And the Bruins now, with the offensive unit on the field going for 2.
Yeah, you've got to start thinking about multiples now. They have a card. The coaches have a card. Bob Toledo has a card. When to go for 2, when not to go for 2. They're looking down the road now. They need 2 here. They need every point they can get.
In motion is Grieve, the tight end. Back to the near side. Open is Melsby, and they get it.
Look out, folks. We showed you almost every game that's been played at Aloha Bowl Stadium. Aloha Stadium and the Aloha Bowl has been 7 points or less. That's been the differential. Here come the Bruins.
37-22. We do have a ball game. It took less than a minute for UCLA to put 2 touchdowns on the board. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, no question who was going to get the ball down near the goal line, and no question Terry Donahue would go for 2, and they got it.
Start with a fabulous hotel on Waikiki's best beach. Now add one of the largest swimming pools in paradise. Fine dining and the
Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of nice cold Miller Lite, life is good. Microsoft, where do you want to go today? And Sheraton Hotels in Waikiki in celebration of Aloha. Now, Merry Christmas once again, everyone, from Honolulu. Very warm afternoon, and UCLA back into this ball game. Not quite Dickens, but it has been a tale of 2 halves at least. Much different Bruin team here in the second half. Shunday Smith out to the 23-yard line. Well, you look at what's taken place so far. Kansas really dominated the first half. The opening drive they took down, scored a touchdown. First drive of the second half, they went into the end zone. But UCLA here in the fourth scored 2 touchdowns in less than a minute to get back in the game, Tim.
Exactly 59 seconds. They scored 13:44 to go in the game. They cut the lead to 23. Onside kick, and 59 seconds later, they score again. The lead now is just 15.
And here comes that ground game that has worked all year long for Kansas. June Henley with the carry. Not much going on the right side of the line.
Of course, timeouts now become a factor. 3 for both teams. More important for UCLA than it is for Kansas. Kansas wants to melt the clock and get out of here with the win. For UCLA, they've got those 3 timeouts, and of course, it's critical. It is critical now for the Bruin defense to make a stop here and give the offense another chance.
And remember, should we come down to the end of the game and have the ball game end in a tie, it will not end. We do have the tiebreaker system in the bowls this year.
Well, a little bit early for that. A lot to happen before that takes place here.
Just planting a seed in your mind. Williams still up, down at the 25. Wrapped up by Abdul McCullough.
Well, what a great pursuit by McCullough. He was on the other side of the field. He came sprinting across to make that tackle and save the play.
Looks a little bit shaken up.
Terry, he sold out. I mean, he just sold out his body to stop that play.
Guy, you talk to his teammates, they say he's always going. You know, always talking. He's got more energy than anybody they know.
UCLA's most valuable player on defense. He's the leading tackler, first team all-conference. Very active line.
I want you to wear this. And my husband died of cancer 3 weeks later. So we buried the jersey with my father. But what's exciting is 3 years later, in his last college game, he gets to come back to the Aloha Bowl and he gets another jersey.
Well, great, May. Let's show that one more time. I don't think we were ready for it, but there you have it. And May Levine, a happy lady, and her son is a happy guy so far.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Dean. June Henley, his counterpart. Some tough yards up to about the 32. Ball's loose, but they ruled it dead.
Little breakdown defensively there allows Kansas to get the first down. UCLA wishful thinking, thought the ball was popped loose, but he was down, and the officials were very emphatic. Head linesman was there in a heartbeat. Well, you can't find a better 1-2 punch anywhere in the country than June Henley and L.T. Levine.
Henley 766 yards on the year, and L.T. Levine 841, and in their careers they both rushed for over 2,000 yards. And it was a bit of a problem at the start of the season. Glenn Mason wanted to go to more of a passing game. You've got these two very good backs. What they've done is utilize them in the eye, but also in a one back and thrown the ball to them as well. Williams still looking. Up to the 36-yard line.
I'm telling you, he is special. He has been fun to watch this afternoon.
Can hurt you in so many ways, can't he?
Talked about containment, 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 and all day UCLA's lost flood control and been unable to contain him.
Kelly Tires, blue-gray all-star game earlier today. The blue with the 26-7 win here on ABC.
You know, UCLA trying to make a comeback here, and of course now with 10:23 left, they've got to get the ball back. But for Kansas, this has been an impressive quarter all year long. They've been so strong in the fourth quarter. 101-51 is what they've outscored their opponents.
How about these? 42 yards on the ground, 261 in the air for Williams. Up to the 39-yard line goes June Henley. Actually, it's L.T. Levine, but not much on that play.
That'll bring up third down and short. UCLA has to make this stop. They can't let them get a first down here. The game pretty much is over.
Henley with 103 yards on the afternoon. Levine only with 18, but we saw early on the passing game established by Kansas. Now a big third down for the Jayhawks. Here come the Bruins. The quick out, complete to Henley across midfield and down to the 47-yard line of UCLA. What a big play.
Clock continues to move. Now it stops. They move the chains, but very, very methodical drive right now. Of course, Dean was talking about L.T. Levine and his last game today in Hawaii. It's not really true. He's coming back for the Hula Bowl next month right here in beautiful paradise.
Last game as a player for Kansas here in Hawaii.
What a reward that is, huh? Come to the Aloha Bowl and then come back for the Hula.
Not a bad month.
That almost qualifies you for residence. Hey, a couple more years, come back for the Pro Bowl.
Jumping ahead of things just a tad there. Got a chance, though. Eric Van over the left side. And inside the 40-yard line. Need to get to the 37.
I'm going to tell you something. This is a very young Kansas team, specifically on defense. So many of these guys are coming back. 9-2 this year, leading UCLA in the Aloha Bowl. Glenn Mason says he's coming back to Lawrence next year to coach Kansas again. Hey, the Jayhawks, a factor next season.
An emotional day on both sides of the football in separate ways. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. LT Levine. But you look at those who have said goodbye, Aloha does. I mean, that Dennis Erickson and Jack Pardee back in 1988. 1990, Dick McPherson, Dennis Green, Bobby Ross in 91, and of course, this was Terry Donahue and Glenn Mason. No longer. It's just Terry Donahue now.
It's like a who's who. Aloha Bowl is like a springboard on to bigger and better things. Talk about the youth of Kansas. You know, 14 of the 22 players on defense are freshmen or sophomores.
The roll, the pass to Friday, the tight end, and inside the 25 down to the 24. I tell you what, this is an impressive drive that Kansas is pulling off right now.
This is a winning drive right here. Everything that took place before was great. And all the scores, of course, they couldn't win without that. But this right here is sealing the victory.
The two quick strikes by UCLA to get back in it. And Glenn Mason never thought it was over. We saw him before that touchdown, the initial touchdown, saying to his kids on the sideline, hey, this thing's not over. It's like they may get it, huh?
They even got my adrenaline flow. I thought UCLA was climbing back in. It got exciting there. And, boy, Kansas coming back and just slamming it right down UCLA's throat.
Pitch out to Henley. Stumbling out of bounds about the 20-yard line. Keeping it out of the ground through most of this drive.
You know, this offensive line, Terry, for Kansas really came together this year. When you think that, boy, it was rebuilt. I mean, John Jones left. Helmsley Hempstead left. Mark Allison is gone. And the veterans who graduated, it looked like the offensive line was really going to struggle. And yet here the guy stepped up, hasn't missed a beat. They averaged 293 yards per game rushing, and they've done a marvelous job here this afternoon.
And really have worn down the UCLA front, which we didn't think would happen. Chris Banks, left guard, leading the way. He's been here before, played the 92 game when he didn't expect to play. An injury sent him in. That was really his first big action as a college player. Loss of a couple. June Henley on the carry and maybe shaken up a little bit. Still on the ground.
You know, what happened, there was some activity at the end of that play because the ball came loose after he hit the ground, so guys are diving in late, scrambling for the ball. He took a couple extra hits late. See what happened to Junior. Here comes June Henley now. Watch this. Give it to him. Big hole there. Here comes the pursuit. He tries to put on the brakes and change. Now watch. He goes down. The ball comes loose. Actually looked like he turned his leg, but guys are starting to fly in around him because the ball was loose.
His leg was back underneath him, yeah. Twisted at the knee, it looked like. So he is helped off to the sideline. Only a junior and back next year for that man. Brings up another third down. 3rd and 6 now for Kansas. They work on Henley along the sideline. LT Levine, the lone back in the backfield. Williams throws to Moore. Intercepted at the 5-yard line.
Hold on.
Paul Guidry with the interception. 2nd of the year. Moore tried to turn back towards the end zone. It was just underthrown.
Mark Williams makes a mistake here. He gets his time. Look, again, he uses that mobility, but he throws off balance, trying to force something that's not there. There's 3 white jerseys around one receiver. Moore, 89, didn't have a chance. This is great inside-out coverage. Boy, I tell you what, Guidry had the position, made the catch. He became the offensive player. Williams knows he made a mistake. He's hoping now. He said, come on, come on, come on. Turnover.
So the 2 quick strikes by UCLA. Now they get it back after the turnover, albeit after a long drive by Kansas. But they take over at their own 5-yard line. 6:56 and counting. Going nowhere.
Yeah, see, now there's got to be more of a sense of urgency, though. I mean, these runs up the middle, you've got to forget those now, and you've got to start going after it. You've got to start getting to the sidelines. You've got to get the hurry-up offense. Look at these guys. They're walking around. Get them up to the line of scrimmage. Let the referee set the ball. The umpire put it down. Whistle. Let's go.
And, Tim, there was on the last drive. They ran the 2-minute type offense. Got it to the end zone. 6:30 and counting. Split the backs. And flags come flying in.
Going to be some movement. That stops the clock with 6:24
Dead
to
ball,
go.
illegal snap on the offense.
Take it back half the distance. Terry Donahue, the final 6:24 of his coaching career at UCLA.
Cannot be cautious here. You know, you've got to forget field position here. Throwing out of the end zone, stuff like that. You've got to show no fear. You've got to take chances. You've got to use that clock and get some seconds back.
McNown, short pass over the middle. And the ball's loose, but after the whistle again.
Okay, that'll get about a yard, maybe 2 short of the first down. So they got to get up, get this first down, and keep it moving.
Abdul-Jabbar in the catch, you say just short of the first down. By the way, we have word June Henley went out of the ballgame on that last drive by Kansas. Turned his ankle, probably will not return this afternoon.
UCLA takes a timeout, so that means they have 2 left. The Bruins have 2 left. We're going under the 6-minute mark now. Bruins down by 15.
5:58 left, and Terry Donahue along with Bob Toledo talking things over with Cade McNown. Look, for a moment after the little pooch kick that UCLA recovered, and then they drove it in to score. Like they really had the momentum, but even though Kansas did not get the end zone, some long drive kind of took some wind out of UCLA. Don't forget, later on tonight, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Cowboys against the Arizona Cardinals. Cowboys all banged up, but now a lot of motivation in that locker room.
Before yesterday afternoon, this was a throwaway game. I'll guarantee you, Barry Switzer was not going to play Troy Aikman long. He wasn't going to play Emmitt Smith long. He was going to get those guys out of there and let them start healing for the play. Now, with 49ers losing yesterday, this game becomes huge. Dallas has to win it. Guarantee those guys have to go. They've got to play hurt.
All the injuries they have on defense especially. You know, you wonder about that team. They were rolling along, and then the big loss to the 49ers earlier in the year. Only needed a yard.
Didn't get it.
Nope.
Lost a yard.
Abdul-Jabbar sent back about a yard by Jason Nevedomski.
Got to go for it on 4th. I mean, there's no question about that.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar comes out of the game at this point. McElroy split to the far side. McBride to the near side. The give inside. Didn't get it. Teal Davis, and he is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage.
Ball game. Huge defensive play. Boy, Dick Holt, Thorne, Rogers, those guys were all over the place for defense.
Now the inside give to Akil Davis as Abdul-Jabbar came out of the game after they gave it to him on the previous play.
I'm a little bit surprised they ran the ball on this play. They try to get outside. They go behind their money guys. They bring their guys. They pull their guard, Christensen. They get him out in front. Holt just runs by everybody with quickness and makes the stick.
Dick Holt, a senior out of Wichita, and Terry Donahue got to be disappointed at this point. Not just in the fact that, you know, you're down 37-22, but the last 2 plays, I think, kind of summed up the way this game has gone.
That 3rd down and a foot, you've got to be able to get it.
Right. So Kansas takes over inside the 10. Van head for a couple down to the 8. June Henley, as we mentioned a moment ago, out with the sprained ankle. And they say he probably will not return. and a sophomore out of El Dorado, Kansas. There's June Henley. Well-deserved break. This time to Levine on the right side, down to the 7-yard line. And no reason for Kansas to put the ball up in the air at this point. Grady Stretz made the stop.
Talked about the birthdays and guys celebrating over here in Hawaii. LT Levine will be 22 years of age Wednesday.
And we'll step away. The timeout by UCLA. Happy birthday.
Where does Napa keep over 200,000 different parts? Right up here. Now remember, your belt tension on this is critical. What kind of car is it? Well, I'll sell you all the struts you want, but I wouldn't recommend putting them in without the right tool. I'm sure we have it. Okay, is it a 77 or a 78? Because they changed the carburetor in 78. Actually, that's not a stupid question at all. I know what it used to be. You don't stay at Napa long handing out the wrong answers, and I'm not planning on going anywhere.
America running.
A lot of records were broken in 1995, and we have until December 31st to break another during our Jeep and Eagle year-end celebration with a great lease rate of just $349 a month on a new Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Or lease an Eagle Vision ESI for $269 a month. Even get up to $1,336 in option values on Jeep Cherokees 4. Help us set another record in 1995. Hurry in to the Jeep and Eagle year-end celebration.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
On the 12th day of Christmas, Santa brought to me 12 Bruins snorkeling, 11 Jayhawks surfing, 10 TD catches, 9 waves of crashing, 8 days of sun, 7 hula dancers, 6 listening linebackers, 5 TD runs, 4 punt returns, 3 QB sacks, 2 new coaches, and a win at the Aloha Bowl. Detroit,
Jayhawks look like they're going to get the present they hope for. At least the last one. A win at the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl.
Melakaliki Maka and Aola Maka Hiki Ho.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'll handle that part. On the scramble is Williams. To the end zone, and how fitting late in this game for him to get to the end zone. What a day he has had.
That's my most valuable player for the day right there. I don't think there's any question. He has played so well today. He's thrown, he's run, maintained his composure. He has skills.
And you know, decisions he has made. He made the one bad decision throwing the interception, but that's down near the 5-yard line moments ago. I mean, he's made great decisions all day long. 18 of 28 for 288 yards.
And you know what? He averages 28 passes a game. He's right on his average.
3 touchdown passes, and now he's run for another one.
Play action, suck him in. Look, here's your containment. Stop it. This is your containment way back there. He knows that. Then just puts a little move back here on Roger. Boom. Just kind of slides right on in. How nice is this? And then look at this. It's one-on-one. Catch me if you can. He's had a heck of a game. You know, he's passed for almost 2,000 yards this year.
McElroy at his own 15. A lot of room. Cuts back. Still up. And finally down at the 32-yard line. So UCLA certainly is not quitting this game.
No, that's impressive. I mean, they go down here. You know the game's all but over. 44-22 with 4.5 minutes left. 4:17 now. But that shows me something. They come back. They get the big return. 55 yards. What kind of day is that? 48 yards rushing. 288 yards passing. Total offense 336. Touchdowns 1. That's the bowl record. Nobody else has put those numbers up. The Aloha Bowl has a new superstar, Mark Williams.
You know, coming in, and you talk to everyone from Kansas, and we've seen him. You had him against Nebraska. I mean, Henley, Levine, you had all the attention, but Mark Williams has been incredible today.
Well, that hurt Cade McNown.
He got hit right in the thigh, it looked like. Patrick Brown made the hit. No huddle.
Smart play here going out of the shotgun. He's got a flat tire, bad wheel. Just let him sit back there so he doesn't have to drop.
Oh, yeah, Jordan wide open over the middle. He threw to Melsby that time, and Kevin Jordan was opening and waving his arms.
I'm surprised they haven't gone to Jordan more today. He's got 2 catches. That's it. Really hadn't been a part of the offense.
Now the #1 receiver last year at 73 catches, all-time record for UCLA. He's the all-time leading receiver in history. And today, didn't really look for him.
No, he had a tough time coming back from his knee injury. He had surgery in the offseason. But he's a quality player, All-American.
Pass complete to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar down to the 18, and I'm going to tell you something. He just flattened a defender who came up to meet him at the line of scrimmage. On his way to making the catch.
He is one of the most powerful 200-pounders I've seen.
Maurice Gaddy made the stop. He just flattened someone.
And as great a day as Abdul-Jabbar has had, he's playing hurt as well, too. He's got an injured ankle.
Out of the gun again. McNown flags on the play. Scrambling down to the 7-yard line. That's maybe been his most effective weapon today, but there's a flag back at the 18-yard line.
Looked like there was movement again. That has been an effective play, hasn't it? The scramble for yards. It's going to be against Kansas.
Yeah. Besides against Kansas. Yeah, I know we've talked about it throughout the day. You just saw Glenn Mason and now Terry Donahue. I mean, how different those emotions are. And Terry Donahue, who leading up to this game had said it really didn't sink in yet that this would be his last game. You know, you prepare for the game and whatnot. Sure, right now it's beginning to sink in. To the end zone for Melsby, and a touchdown for UCLA, his second of the day.
Hey, T, you talk about young players. How about Melsby? That's his second touchdown catch this afternoon. He's a true freshman. We talked about in the last 6 games, he's averaged over 20 yards a catch. He came into this game with just 7 receptions. That's his 5th today for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Favorite receiver today, without a doubt.
And give the line some credit here, too. Look at the protection Cade McNown gets. Actually pumps 3 times before he finally leads him out there, and it's well thrown. Jason Harris on the coverage, but he was beaten by a step, and McNown put it where only his guy Melsby could get it.
Knows how to get open in good hands on Melsby. Now the Bruins go for 2. Just shy of the goal line, and there is a flag down. Dick Holt made the stop. There's a flag on the far side of the field, about the 3-yard line.
Looks like it's going to be against Kansas, too, because the Kansas players are walking off. And
that's the second time in the last 4 plays.
Side judges tell them, not so fast. Get back on the field. Yeah, I like that rule, too. Guys getting in the neutral zone. It used to be a defender could jump across the line of scrimmage, and if there's no contact, he could get back, no penalty. Now you get in there, boom, that's a penalty on the defense. All right, so they're going to line up, go for 2 again.
Yeah,
now it's half the distance.
Few minutes left in this one. Later on tonight, Dallas taking on Arizona, and home field
advantage implications. The Cowboys and the Cardinals. 9 Eastern. Abdul-Jabbar to the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is good.
How about the Bruins just hanging around there? No quit in them. Still staying in it a little bit.
Yep.
Down 14 now.
44-30 with just over 3 minutes left in the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl.
Oh, you didn't get tomatoes?
Nah, I've been kind of on a rut lately, you know. I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. Whopper, no tomatoes.
Change your pace.
Exactly.
Expecting a weave and you bob.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking zig, use egg.
Yeah.
You're a bold man.
The Whopper. It always tastes great because it's always fixed your way, with fries and a drink for just $2.99 every day at Burger King.
So, you out of your rut?
Believe I am.
You're rutless.
Enough with the ruts.
You've been ejected from the Rutmobile. No ruts, no glory.
The warmest aloha from the Sheraton hotels that call Waikiki Beach home. The Sheraton Waikiki, the Royal Hawaii, the Sheraton Moana Surf Rider, the Sheraton Princess Kaiulani. Let Sheraton turn the world's most famous beach into your own tropical paradise. Come celebrate aloha with Sheraton. For reservations, call 1-800-STAY-ITT.
Introducing the MGD Wide Neck. 16 ounces of cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. In a bigger bottle with a new wider neck, which should make getting to its smooth draft taste even easier. Now that ought to float your boat.
We're kicking off Bowl Week right here in Honolulu. And ABC Sports, 3 games that will certainly be great ones. Great matchups. Begins New Year's Eve, 7 Eastern, as Virginia Tech takes on Texas in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Then on New Year's Day, a battle of top 5 teams. Ohio State battling Tennessee, the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl. And then at 4:30 Eastern, Cinderella story continues. The Trojans of USC battling the Cinderella team from just north of Chicago, the Northwestern Wildcats in the Rose Bowl.
It's a pretty good lineup when you look at Texas and the season they've had. Of course, after a shaky game against Pitt, they got the win and really started rolling. Then Frank Beamer's done a great job at Virginia Tech. Then you've got Eddie George and Peyton Manning in the second game. And then
Ohio State-Tennessee game couldn't be the best of all.
Oh, I agree.
Terrific.
I agree with that. Still the best story of the year, those Northwestern.
Yep.
Everybody up for the onside kick. Don't be surprised if you see a little sunshine kick. Try to pooch it over their heads.
But they did last time. Now they go straight onside. UCLA recovers, but a flag. Not sure it went 10.
He touched it before it went across the line. He actually grabbed it 9 yards deep, and that's illegal.
Now the UCLA players and sideline clapping. Now that's exactly what's called, yeah. Like Glenn Tompkins, number 21, may have been the man who was there early.
That was almost perfectly executed.
Got the high bounce like you want. Let's see.
All right, watch this now. The ball has to go 10 yards before there's any contact with it. Now watch, here it comes, boom, contact, he's not across the line. Here's the line down here.
Now, he's across the line once he lands, but not when he gets the ball.
Exactly, it's contact with the ball. Cannot be touched till 10 yards.
June Henley with the shoulder pads off, his day is complete. Little twist of the ankle, but this man started the day by announcing to his team that he would stay at Kansas instead of taking the head coaching job at Georgia, and he will hold a press conference later in the day at halftime of the matchup between the Cowboys and the Cardinals tonight on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. We will have the reports from that press conference and whatever it is that Glenn Mason wants to tell us all, and if there's any reaction from the Georgia folks, we'll have that as well. It's tonight at halftime of Monday Night Football.
Terry, with the penalty, UCLA gets another shot at this. Again, everybody lined up for the onside kick. I'm surprised they aren't trying to just pooch it over their heads with one of those little high floaters and let you guys run down to it.
Worked earlier in the game.
Yeah, it did. There it is.
Boy, good hands, huh?
That's your man Bird.
Yeah, Isaac Bird with a catch down at the 25-yard line. You know, the thing is, even if you don't get the real short kick, which they had last time, where one of your men can go on and catch it, there's nobody really in that mid area, about the 25, 30-yard line. If it bounces, it's a free ball.
Right.
So, well, a wild afternoon here in Aloha Stadium. Kansas with 44 points on the board. That's the most ever in Aloha Bowl history. And two teams combined 74 points on the board, the most ever in the history of this bowl game. Mark Williams, his afternoon complete. He's on the sideline, and Ben Roots, the junior from Oklahoma City, comes on for the final 3:05. And the pitch out to Eric Van, sophomore out of El Dorado, Kansas. Ahead for about 5 or 6. Barry Walton made the stop, Tim.
You know, Ben Roots actually wanted to go to Oklahoma. They didn't recruit him. He went to Nebraska, transferred out of Nebraska to junior college, and thought he would be a starter at Kansas, and probably will be next year. But Mark Williams came in, and you know what happened there.
Has a brother who is married to Barry Switzer's daughter, as a matter of fact.
And Ben Roots is a friend of our colleague down on the sidelines, Steve Blevins.
Mm-hmm. He must have had plenty of sunscreen today. He looked all right down on the sideline. Last year, he was a little red.
Look at this.
Here comes Van.
Look at this.
One man to beat. Can he catch him? And he gets to the end zone. Van with the touchdown run. Javelin Guidry closed on him at about the 25-yard line and came up just short.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. Javelin Guidry had the proper pursuit angle, but Van knew it, so he changed his angle and went right for the pylon. Now watch this. First of all, watch this. All right, now he sees, here comes the pursuit, boom, let's cut back. Here's my alley, here's my lane, pick up a couple of blockers. All right, now he sees open field. All right, now the van turns into a sports car. Watch this. Here comes Javelin, number 3. So see how he changes his field and goes for the pylon? He goes in the same direction that Guidry goes and beats him to the goal line.
67-yard touchdown run. Point after good. They had a 77-yard touchdown pass earlier in the game. And the Van Man with the long run for a touchdown. And now Glenn Mason can relax a little bit.
You know, this is just a good old-fashioned spanking right now. That's not the way Terry wanted to go out.
No, it is not. And, you know, you come here, all the things to do throughout this week here in Honolulu, and the weather as nice as it is. We talked about it earlier. It is hard to keep your focus as a football team. And, you know, especially with all the other things surrounding this game, the departure of Terry Donahue and supposed departure of Glenn Mason.
You know, it's interesting that Terry Donahue is leaving. And, of course, the search for a new coach is on. You look at the offensive and defensive coordinators at UCLA, you got 2 fine coaches. Bob Field would like to have it. But, you know, this, to be brutally honest, this is going to hurt his chances. His defense gives up 51 points. Now, Bob Toledo also wants the job. I think he'd be an outstanding coach, and his team scores 30. Here's Bob Toledo.
Yeah.
He's been successful as an offensive coordinator under R.C. Slocum at Texas A&M. He's done a nice job at UCLA. He'd be an outstanding head coach.
McElroy, look out, took it back a long way the last time and back to midfield. And Shunday Smith made the stop, but another big return for Jim McElroy. And it looks as if Bob Toledo is going to send in backup quarterback Rob Walker for Cade McNown. You look ahead to next year. You know, whoever is coaching the UCLA Bruins, how about those first 3 games? Nice way to start, isn't it? At Tennessee with Peyton Manning,
You got Northeastern Louisiana, and then at Michigan at the Big House. And then it doesn't get a whole lot easier at Oregon for your first conference game.
But don't forget now, UCLA started with a tougher round this year. I mean, they started with Miami Brigham Young in Oregon, but you go down to Knoxville, that's a whole different world down there. I mean, football's a way of life, and there's so much talent. And as you said, Peyton Manning makes any team special.
Not a nice way to be greeted as the new head football coach of the Bruins. Jim McElroy shaken up on the play and walks off under his own power. Rob Walker back to throw. Abdul-Jabbar with the catch over the middle and down to the 43. Walker, a senior out of Austin, Texas, and replaced Ryan Feen as the backup quarterback to Cade McNown.
Abdul-Jabbar is hurt. It's a leg injury. He came in with a bad ankle.
You mentioned the UCLA defense today, and that told the story. A lot more than their average that they've given up today.
Yeah, more importantly, you know, this one's already in the history books, but this guy right here, he's just a junior. He's coming back. Want to get all those little nicks and bumps and bruises and injuries and get that ankle healthy again for next year. And don't forget, not only is Abdul-Jabbar coming back, but Skip Hicks is rehabbing his knee, and he's a talent.
That's right. And people have forgotten about him in many areas because they have not seen much action.
Of course, the way things have gone, you know, so many young guys are coming out. The coach that takes over UCLA hopes Abdul-Jabbar comes back and doesn't go out early to the NFL.
Swing pass outside down to the 34-yard line. That is Massey on the catch.
Boy, I tell you what, this is where emotion got in the way of concentration. Sean Stewart, a freshman, came down with a late hit that threw a flag.
A flag down at the 35, that's what it is. Now the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl most valuable players of the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from UCLA and Mark Williams from Kansas. Abdul-Jabbar with 152 yards on the afternoon, and Mark Williams 18 out of 28 for 288 yards, 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Jeep Eagle to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in advancing their educational goals. He's been a constant for them.
As time winds down, let me just say what a pleasure it's been working with you this year, and Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Never had more fun. Thank you, Tim. Same to you and your family, and hope to do it again. Walker with the timeout.
Right here wouldn't be bad.
No, you know, to drop that hint. Not a bad way to spend your holidays. Under a minute left, and the Bruins call the timeout.
I think Glenn Mason's a little perplexed at that timeout. I mean, the game, for all intents and purposes, is over. 57 seconds left. I'm not sure why it was taken. Great job by Glenn Mason preparing his team for this, getting them ready for the bowl game. Then making the announcement to his team just prior to kickoff that he was going to stay, and Lawrence and not go to Athens to be the coach at Georgia. He's done a terrific job. About time for the dousing, isn't it?
I think so, and he's looking back. He knows.
Yeah, he does. And he still has some quickness.
He senses it. There it comes. Oh, yeah. You know what, though? It's not bad when it's 85 degrees out and you take that down. So you know what? It's like -10 in Buffalo or something.
That's right. He's saying, bring it on. Great day.
A lot better than taking that in Lawrence, Kansas right now.
Great day for him. He'll do a nice job wherever he is.
Walker underthrown. Millsby, again, the intended receiver. Had a big afternoon, especially in the second half. You know, water's not bad either, but that, you know, the Gatorade, the fruit drink, a little sticky.
You know, you think of Glenn Mason, you think, well, he hadn't been at Kansas that long. What is this? This is his 8th year. You realize he is second in longevity among Big 8 coaches. Tom Osborne's the only one that's been at his school longer, which I guess is a sign of the times. unfortunately.
Thrown away. Eric Scott, the intended receiver. Well, Mason, this year's Big 8 Coach of the Year, taking them to 2 bowl games in the last 4 years. The '92 Aloha Bowl, they beat BYU. And 4 of the last 5 years have been winning ones in Lawrence. And that is off the heels of 15-game Big 8 losing streak before he came in. Only had 4 wins in 2 years before his arrival.
Hey, let me take you back to August. Here's a page out of a magazine that was printed in August. It says Kansas looks to be down slightly from last year's very modest squad. But fortunately for the Jayhawks, many other Big 8 schools are down as well, but this will not be a good year for Kansas. Well, they end up 9-2. They get a win here, and they 10 wins on the year.
Ah, the experts, huh? Yeah, they were picked to finish no higher than 5th in the Big 8 this year. Complete out to Ryan Ford. Just shy of the 40-yard line. Not a bad second half for the Jayhawks after a great first half. 6 possessions, 5 touchdowns. And now again, we've said it, but in the closing moments, Terry Donahue, I'm sure, pictured him much differently as he went to sleep every night this week.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. It's tough enough for him to leave. I mean, it wasn't an easy decision, and then to go out this way, it's bitter taste.
Eric Van backwards. The midfield, Gary Walton was there first. Now for the Bruin players, too. You know, they talked about it throughout the week here in Honolulu, wanting to send off Terry Donahue in a fitting manner. And it's not going to happen. Had an outstanding career, though. More Pac-10 wins than any coach in history. And Glenn Mason, well, as of right now, he's staying at Kansas. The announcement before the game to his team that he would remain as the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks, saying goodbye to Terry Donahue, who is leaving after 20 years as the head coach of the Bruins. And let's send you down to the field to Dean Blevins, who is with Glenn Mason right now.
Well, Glenn, easier than you thought, I'm sure. What do you feel about it?
Well, you know, there aren't many football teams, Dean, that will go this year with 10 victories. And we're one of them. No one can take it away from us. And to think that no one gave us a chance, I tell you, in the Plains State and Big 8 country, they had us down and out. And I got a young football team here, and we might be short on talented, but we're long on character. And we got the right chemistry. And if you got chemistry, I don't know how you buy it. And we got it. And you got to do everything you possibly can to make sure that you don't give it up.
Glenn, your people back at Kansas verified the story we had earlier that you've decided to stay at Kansas. Got to ask you why. Why are you staying at Kansas after committing to Georgia?
Well, Dean, first of all, I want to apologize to the people of Georgia, especially to Coach Vince Dooley, because I know I put them in a very embarrassing situation, and that's not my style. It really comes down to just personal reasons, and the short of it is that right now in 1995, the best thing for me, best thing for my family especially, maybe the best thing for my career is to stay at Kansas. And so I had to shift gear. I had to waffle. That's not my style, but I did it, and I profoundly apologize and beg forgiveness.
Good luck the rest of the way, and congratulations on a big one today.
Thank you, Dean.
All right, guys, back up top. We'll have the winner of the players of the game in a moment.
All right, Dean, Glenn Mason in a very honest moment there, and I'm sure it was a gut-wrenching decision, not only first to leave Kansas, but then to go back on that agreement and to stay at Kansas.
Yeah, it's something we talked about earlier. You know, Georgia is now left in limbo. It's not an easy situation for them because here it not only hurts their coaching situation because they don't have one, but it also kills a recruiting year pretty much right now. They've got to make a decision in a hurry, so it leaves them in limbo. As for his future, we mentioned earlier, you know, now people may look at him in the future that want to hire him and say, wait a minute, he backed out of that other job. He may be waffling or wishy-washy type. Well, he just addressed that and said, you know, I did do that, and I apologize. But right now, this is the decision I made. It's best for my family.
And you know, it's happened before. You remember Bobby Cremins a couple of years ago taking the job at South Carolina and then deciding to stay at Georgia Tech. Well, Glenn Mason celebrating its luau time here in Honolulu, Hawaii, following the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl, 51-30. The Kansas Jayhawks with the win.
Boy, is Glenn Mason loaded for next year. You know, out of the 99 players that Kansas brought to this game, 49 freshmen, 19 sophomores.
So Kansas a winner, 51-30 for Dean Blevins and Tim Brandt. Kim Belton, Billy Webb in the truck. I'm Terry Gannon. Don't forget Monday Night Football, Dallas and Arizona. Merry Christmas, everyone.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
When kids connect with a special adult friend, the results speak for themselves.
He keeps me on the right track. He tells me what's right from wrong. I really felt loved, like I was a special person.
I think she raised my self-esteem a lot.
Because if I always want to reach for the stars.
Now you know what having a special adult friend can mean to so many kids. So get involved. Call a volunteer organization in your community. Maybe next time they'll be talking about you. It's time to put children first.
If you were a woman, would you need me to tell you that I love you all the time?
Well, I do like to hear it.
What about flowers?
Flowers are good. Dinner's better.
Well, it can't just be about me giving you things.
It's not just things. It's never forgetting what it's all about. Us.
Am I interrupting something?
Nah, it's just guy stuff, honey.
Jab's coming January 9th.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Toyota's year-end countdown is on. Get 1.9% financing on every new Toyota